Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Got a big turnout just starting out here tonight. Appreciate everybody being here. Hope everybody's doing well. We're trying out some new features here on the stream tonight. Appreciate you guys being here. Tonight is our second edition of the Swap Shop show. Last week went pretty good. It was a good start. Hopefully we'll get some more listings here tonight. You'll see in the chat, I just dropped a link for you to join the stream. Okay, so before everybody does that, let's talk about some rules here first. Basically the rules of the road when it comes to the swap shop here. All right, so here we go. The first rule is equipment must be ham radio, GMRS, or CB related. No off-topic gear will be featured. I might let a computer slide because you can use a computer with ham radio, but please keep it radio related of some sort. Number 2, participants must join the show on the screen. You don't have to necessarily show the equipment. You just have to, show your face on the screen, or at least the equipment, one or the other. Third is you must be willing to ship. We do allow local pickups. However, you must be willing to ship. You are coming on a show that is watched all around the world, so you have to be willing to ship your merchandise. Let me get rid of the banner here for just a minute. Number 4, stay on topic. The show is for gear exchange only. Please no long-winded rants or off-topic chatter. Number 5, no commercial sales. This is a community trading post. If you are a business and are interested in sponsoring the show, we are totally open to that. You can see my email there, josh@aa4wx.com. You can just reach out to me, and we can make a deal on you sponsoring the show and talking about your stuff. And finally, the final rule is this is your liability waiver. Everybody needs to be paying attention to this. By participating in the show, whether by watching, buying, selling, or trading, you agree to hold harmless Marler Entertainment LLC and HamShackTV from all liability, disputes, and transactions. So there's the rules. Appreciate y'all hearing those out for a minute here. Let's go to the chat and see what we got. I see Leroy's on the in the back room waiting to come in, so we'll grab him in a minute. Kelly Rose is in the house, KI4JAV. I don't know if I've seen you around here, Kelly. Appreciate you being here. Nice to have the ladies around for sure. John is in the house, KR4CBI. Good to see you, John. Thanks for being there. Tommy is here. Good evening, Josh. Just passed my tech test and just waiting on the FCC now. Buddy, this is the longest few days you'll have in your entire life. I can promise you that. Congratulations, buddy. Welcome to the hobby. Kelly's also saying congratulations. Down in the chat, you should see this particular link right here. If you click on that link, that will put you in line to join the show. Tommy sends his gratitude to Kelly. Andy's in the house, the godfather of World Radio League, and also works with Ham Radio Prep. We appreciate Andy, as well as N0 APX antennas. Guys, his antennas are extremely popular right now, so go check out N0APX.com. My buddy Leroy's here, and he's actually in the waiting room, so we'll bring Leroy in here in just a few minutes. M&L Radio Technologies, coming soon to a local ham fest near you. Our buddy Jason Lockwood, you can see the symbol next to his name. That means he's a channel member, and he's on the highest tier channel membership. So Jason, appreciate you being here and appreciate you joining as a channel member. And guys, you can join as a channel member as well. Channel memberships are as cheap as $2.99 a month, and they go all the way up to $24.99 a month. So if you feel like you want to support HamShackTV, that's a certainly easy way of doing it. And we appreciate all support we can get. Let's see here. Who else we got here? Andy says hello to Jason. And Jason says, hi, Andy. Hi, boss man. And also says, congratulations, KQ4UEI. And you're welcome. All right. One last thing, and we'll get to work here. See several of you watching. Appreciate you folks joining here. Robert's in the house as well. KF0DKZ. Hello. And Jason says, got 100 contacts in POTA today. That's awesome. That's awesome. Do want to shout out a couple of other channel members. We already talked about Jason, but we also have Soul Studios, and we have Soul Studios is KO4DDG, And we also have Barrow and Rogers. Appreciate those guys, the support of HamShackTV. There are other links down in the description. If you feel like you want to support the channel, we have affiliate links and things like that. You can join there. Leroy has dropped out of the waiting room, so there he is. He's coming back. Let's go ahead and get Leroy on the show here. See what Leroy's got up for tonight. Hey, buddy, we missed you in Dayton. You're muted. Got to hit the unmute button. There you go.
Sorry about that. I'll probably do Dayton next year. I wasn't ready.
Yeah, buddy, I can't wait to see you at Dayton because you're going to make a lot of money in Dayton. I can assure you of that.
Well, let's see about that next year then. You doing okay today, bud?
Yeah, we're doing good. You all right?
We're doing all right.
Good.
I apologize now if my dogs start to barking.
That's all right. Are you planning on doing Huntsville?
Yeah. I'll be in Knoxville next month, and the following month is Nashville up at Wilson County Fairgrounds. I'll be there also.
Awesome. I don't know about Nashville. I haven't really thought that out if I'm gonna make Nashville, but I'll definitely see you at Knoxville and see you at Huntsville.
Yep. So
I'll be there. What you got for us tonight?
I'm just gonna watch tonight.
Just watch.
That's okay. I want to get the lay of the land first.
That's certainly good. That's certainly good. Well, guys, I want you to go check out M&L Radio Technology. Give a shout out for your website there, Leroy.
The website's still under construction. Right now, we just give us a holler on the phone or email at info at mnlradiotech.com, and we can definitely help you out until we get the website built up.
Sounds good, buddy. Well, good to see you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So that's Leroy. Leroy's a good buddy of the channel. We appreciate him. You've seen him in several of the Hamfest videos. We saw him at Dalton. I think we saw him at Dalton. Did we see him at Dalton? I think so. We saw him. We definitely saw him at Sevier County, and we definitely saw him at Raleigh Fest. So Fest was a good time, y'all. I can't express that enough. That is the next up and coming Hamfest for sure. Guys, don't have anybody in the waiting room ready to come in, so y'all jump in here. We just posted the link in the chat. I'm going to take it and drop the link also into the Discord, and we'll see if we can get anybody in here to buy, sell, or trade. I have a couple of items I will put up personally here for sure. Last week we posted an ID52A. I still have that available. Great radio. Like I said, I have no qualms about that radio whatsoever. If you want to, if you're interested in that, no problems at it. It's just I upgraded to the Kenwood D75. That's the only reason I'm letting it go. D75 does everything that the 52A does, except it does more. APRS, and it also does 220. So I really like that radio. ID52 is available. I bought it at Huntsville last year, so it's relatively new. You can buy that, or you can get that for $550. So if you want to, if you are interested in that, $550, and you can also email me at josh@aa4wx or join the Discord, one or the other. Get in touch with me a couple different ways. You're more than welcome to holler at me for that. And I also have an ICOM ID5100 mobile rig. You can it's D-Star, all the good stuff, VHF, UHF, all that good stuff. You can get that. I've got that available for $500. So if you're interested in either one of those issues, and of course it'll be plus shipping, whatever that may end up being. But I've got the boxes for both of them, so Everything that you would expect will come with it. So ID 52A for $550, ID 5100 for $500. All right, I see Andy in the house. Andy's got some fireworks going off. What's going on there?
How did that happen? I think it was when I did this. There we go. Hey, Josh, how are you doing?
Good. How's it going, bud?
As you can see, I'm doing just fantastic.
I mean, Memorial Day was Monday. I don't know what the fireworks are about now.
Absolutely. All right. It's not quite the 4th yet, is it? Okay. All right. So, yeah. So I just want to let everybody know my Radio Shack HDX10 is still available. 110 or shoot me an offer. You won't offend me. Worst I can say is no. It's an HTX10, so it's 10 meter only. HF radio is my first radio, but it's used. It's in. I would say the functionality is there. It's good. It puts out power. You can make contacts. The backlight doesn't work on the screen. It's got some rust. The mic is badly cracked, but works. And I made contacts with it. It's a solid for operating. It's a solid radio. It just has some cosmetic issues. If you're worried about it, it doesn't look the greatest, but it is a solid as far as the radio goes. It's a solid radio, and I used it until I got a G90 to replace it in my circulation, and I never have. I don't think I've used it since. I got an old Kenwood after that. And it just, all it is 10 meters. So I used it to kind of finish out my tech only journey, and then got a G90 very shortly after that. So when I upgraded to general, so it's still available, $110. If you want pictures, I can send you pictures, or you can go back to the last buy sell trade stream, and I shared pictures. I don't know, Josh, if you want me to share my screen again, or if they can just go look at them, or I can email them pictures. But yeah, $110. Or if you have an offer for me, shoot me an offer. I would absolutely just fine with dealing with you to get you an offer. Hey, Joe, great to see you.
You're more than welcome to share it if you'd like. Otherwise, it is indeed, you're right. It is on the previous stream. Now, guys, what I did do to kind of shorten.
Okay. I'll just pull it up here real quick so you can see it.
Yeah. So I'll just say what I did do and what I intend on doing with this. I will make a separate cut of this in post production and drop out all the intro crap, with that kind of stuff, and get straight to business on it to. Y'all don't want to watch the standby screen for 4 minutes, so it's easier to find. But yeah, if Andy wants to show you what he's got, we'll go for it. We don't have anybody waiting. And 3WER says big thank you to Andy. 73's from Chris.
Great to see you, Chris.
All right.
Yeah, I think my screen is in the waiting area. I think my connection's a bit laggy, so apologize if it's not super fast. But let's see here. I'm sorry. I should have pulled up the swap meet page. That's what I was trying to do. Here we go. Let's go to the swap meet page. Let's try that. My brain wasn't braining just then. Let's see here. Show all. There we go. So this listing says 180. I've I brought that way down. 110 or best offer. You can see here, like I said, the mic's cracked but works. Why did it shoot all the way to the bottom there? Yeah, it's definitely not in great shape cosmetically, but it still functions. So it still works, puts out power. You can make contacts with it. For some reason, it doesn't want to load all the pictures. Here, we'll give it just a second to see if it tries again. But with all the ads that QRZ puts on their page, it doesn't really want to load both the ads and my pictures. So
there it goes, slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. There we go. You can see it there. See a front on of it. The front of it looks good. It just doesn't have a good backlight. And yeah, that's the only one looks like it that loaded. But yeah, it looks good. Just doesn't have a good. Just the backlight's out, and yeah, I think one of the knobs might be running a little loose. But yeah, it's like I said, it functions, puts out power. You can make contacts. The functionality's there. It just it isn't great cosmetically. So 110 or give me an offer. I'd be glad to work with you. You might be surprised what I might take if you throw it at me. So don't be scared to throw me an offer. Like I said, I will not be offended. The worst I can say is no. So just hit me up.
All right. Well, it looks great. I had a Radio Shack HTX 242, I believe it was, a 2-meter rig. And
the little handheld, yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, it's a mobile. Maybe I've got the model number wrong, something like that. But anyway, same issue. Backlight blew out on it. So
yeah,
it's a Quack Shack thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Chris says you must be on AOL.
I am not. No, I'm not on AOL, but I do have a slow network here. I've got one of those mesh deals, and the weather outside is just like rainy and crazy, and so the mesh. I think what's going on, the mesh between my house and my shack is weak, and then the connection from the house where the main unit is to the cell tower that I'm pulling internet from is also weak. So if I had cable, if I had like fiber internet, it would be a lot faster. But anyway, I don't. So
yeah, that's part of it. Anything new going on with World Radio League this week?
With World Radio League, yeah, absolutely. In our beta environment, we just pushed some really exciting stuff. We just pushed customizable logbook templates. So you can build your own template, save it to your account, use it. It's really fantastic. That's in the beta tester environment and our beta /dev environment right now. So, don't expect all the bugs to be worked out yet. We're testing before release. So, yeah, absolutely. You can go check that out if you're in the beta system. And we've got a lot of great things, just on the horizon, but we're slowly, we're slow. I say slowly. We hit a point here where with many times we have just a bunch of small features we're just knocking through, but we kind of hit a point where we've got like several big ones that we're trying to get done. And so it appears that we've slowed down. Our progress appears to have slowed, but really we got some really big stuff that we're fixing to launch here really soon. That's really exciting, including the logbook templates. That's a big one. A couple of other huge ones that have been massively requested are just like in the wings, getting closer and closer to testing and release. So keep an eye out for that. Some super exciting stuff. And it may or may not include a offline capable desktop app. So
yay! Yeah. That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome.
Spoiler alert, it does.
I tell you, you guys have got to be getting excited about Field Day, because now this will be your first real year of contesting logs, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've had the contesting module in there for a while, but this year is when we really, starting about Winter Field Day, is when we really started building it out and making it all it can really be. And then we've also got we've got the WRTC guys, World Radio Sport Team Championship guys, are doing a test run this year, and so we're in the middle of helping them get that set up and ready too. So yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, all right, buddy. Chris says Andy was nice enough to allow me in the beta program. I didn't get the latest, but I will. That's awesome. All right, man. Well, appreciate you.
So basically, Chris, if you're in the World Radio League beta, I'm sorry, my network's slow. Chris, if you're in the World Radio League beta, just go to that link, and it's it's just it's every update we push is just fresh on that link. So just go to that link. If you're in the WRL beta, go to that link, and it's got the latest information there. Josh, I'm gonna look around my shack here. I just thought of something. I may have another piece of equipment to sell. If I do, I'll see you again here in a couple minutes. Otherwise, have fun with the rest of your stream, and thanks for bringing me on.
All right, buddy. Good to see you. Yeah, come on back if you find something else there. All right, there's Andy. Good to see you, Andy. We appreciate all of Andy's support and James's support over at World Radio League and Ham Radio Prep and Professor Jim and all that good stuff. We saw them on the channel a few weeks ago, so that's fantastic. No one's asked what program we're talking about. It's World Radio League. It's a great, great log, especially for portable operations, but even in the shack. Just go to worldradioleague.com and check it out there. See some conversation here about some equipment here. Guys, we really don't want to do text listings. This is a video show, but we'll go ahead and entertain this one. Kelly's in the house. Thanks for joining, Kelly. Looking for an MFJ tuner. Chris is asking what kind of wattage. Kelly says manual tuner. 100 watts will do. So fantastic on that. Let's see here. What else do we have here? Terry's in the house, says hello. Well, hello. We'll throw the hand up to you. Guys, super chats are available as well. If you feel like supporting the channel, throwing an old tip in the tip jar, you're more than welcome to do that down below. You'll see a little flashing dollar bill thing there or something like that. Just give that a click and you'll be good to go on that. We appreciate all the support that y'all give HamShackTV. Jason says, about to get an alpha hex antenna. That is awesome, Jason. I really want a hex beam myself. Really, really do. Saw VHQ hex in Dayton, and I'm jealous. I really want one. We are considering buying a new house right now, so won't be making any antenna changes in the short term, but we'll see going forward. Chris has got the email. We've already touched that. Jason says he's a VE2. Terry, you can absolutely sell. We just asked that you join the stream, and I am dropping that link in the description right there. Or not the description, sorry, in the chat. Just click on that link and join the stream, and we'll get you in here, get you to sell something. Try to put some jingle in that pocket. Oh boy. Oh boy. I got to take care of this here. Where is it? Where is it?
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man. All right, let's.
So guys, if you're new to HamShackTV, when we live stream, you will see, and somebody does a super chat, we do something we call play the clip. All right, so if you're unfamiliar, that was Ted DiBiase, the former $1 Million Man back in the old days of wrestling. I used to be a wrestling fan a long time ago. Don't really care about it now, but we stole that clip from another live stream that I watched called Talking Vols. We're big Tennessee fans here. You can tell by my shirt, not to mention they are my full-time employer. So anyway, appreciate the $2 from Jason. Certainly appreciate that. That is fantastic. What a great friend of the show. Let's see here. Let's talk about some other folks, other things here. Jason said log tuner, LDG. Nolan says, I've been using log for old men. Might have to give it a try. I will tell you this. It is a total different experience from log for old men. Go try it. You don't have to pay a dime. There's no obligation to World Radio League. Go try it. I think you're going to like it. Let's check a few others here. Jason was not waiting on me. Play the song. Oh yeah, there you go. Appreciate that, buddy. Kelly Rose says, go Vols. You got that right. Go Big Orange. N3WER, Chris says he's really a WWE fan, but hey, WWF, WWE forever. I was actually a WCW fan, if I'm being honest about it. Back in the old days of Hogan and Sting and Flair and Macho Man, the NWO, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, all those guys. Jason says you're welcome. Appreciate that. And then Nolan says, I'm eating butter chicken at an Indian restaurant. Otherwise, I'd hop on, but I'm looking for an ICOM 9700 and an Elecraft KPA 1500. All right, guys. So you see that there. We appreciate that. We've got Terry in the waiting room. Don't see a picture from Terry. We'll go ahead and bring Terry in, see what Terry's got to offer. Terry, your mic is muted, but go ahead and come on in here. What you got going on tonight?
How you doing?
Hey, Terry, doing good. How are you?
Doing good.
Got something you want to sell?
I just got my pet license, and I'm from Arkansas.
Oh, okay. All right. So not looking to sell anything. You looking to buy anything?
Well, I got something to sell, but it's just a receiver. It ain't a transmitter.
Hey, we're all right with that. What you got?
Let's see what I got here. Yeah, I thought I was getting a receiver and a transmitter, but I'm gonna find out it's just a receiver. But it's a Radio Shack DX394 is what it is.
Okay.
And it's not brand new. I just got it. I got it off of eBay off of an individual, but it's got software. It's got all the paperwork and everything still with it. It came with it.
Okay. And what you looking for on it?
Well, I want to try to get at least $250 out of it.
Okay. Plus shipping, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Now you don't have your license yet, so you don't have a QRZ page. What's a good email address for folks to reach you at?
It will be TADKISSON69@gmail.com.
All right, I got hang on, let's start over. TADKISSON 69er at gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Fantastic, buddy. Well, congratulations. I'm so proud of you to hear that you got your ticket there, and that's fantastic. All right. Well, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll get that listed there. Appreciate that. We've got Terry again he's got a Radio Shack DX394 receiver for $250 plus shipping. You can contact him at TADKISSON69@gmail.com. And we'll, if anybody's interested in that too, if you need that email address, I'll be happy to send that along. I'm trying to pull that particular rig up here so we can take a look at it here. Shack 394. All right, let's see here. Oh, Andy's back. We'll grab Andy here in just a second. So, share screen. All right, so there it is right here. That's it. Radio Shack Realistic DX394. Nice little scanner there. Nice little scanner. So, if y'all are looking for a scanner, go check. Or if it's looking for a scanner, go check it out. I think you'll like it. All right, let's go back to Andy. Andy's got something else for us. What you got there, bud?
Hello again. A couple of things here. Now these are more along the line of trade rather than sell. I'm not sure that I necessarily want to sell these for cash money. But hit me up with an offer if you have one, and I'll definitely consider it. Got a True SDX, fully functional. I just it's so for these QRP 5-watt radios. I like to do CW. This one does single sideband, but it's it's kind of low power for single sideband, and for the CW side of things, It's not got the for my CW operating. I just don't. It's not my favorite to operate CW on. So good little radio. I mean, it's a solid radio, but not like my favorite. And then so that one I'm looking to. I would honestly I'd kind of like to get something from the early Elecraft line, like a KX1 or a K1 or something like that. But I'm really not near that much room in the budget. So I'm just kind of looking for if somebody wants to kind of do a swap, do a trade. The other item is an MFJ 860 SWR watt meter here. As far as I know, it's working well. I think last time I tried to I got this used. Last time I tried to install it in the shack, I had some RF in the shack problems, and so I couldn't get everything to work right because I had I didn't have any. My antenna system was a little bit of a mess. So once I got my new shack set up, I never did get this set back up. But as far as I know, it works as intended. Now I don't have I have the power cable for it somewhere, but I can't guarantee you that you'll get the power cable because I don't know exactly where it is. If I can find it before I ship it, then I can throw it in. But it just it's just a barrel jack, should be pretty easy to replace. And then the Truist DX, of course, comes with the power cable that converts to power poles. So those items, if you have a cash offer, throw it at me. I'll consider it. But also if you have something to trade. Some sort of a rig to trade, let me know and we can talk about it. But yeah, I've got both of those items here and available. So
what did you say the orange device was called?
This is a True SDX. It's a transceiver, 5-watt transceiver. It does single sideband and CW, and digital mode.
Fantastic. Somebody's going to get a deal on that. Somebody's going to get a deal real quick on that. That's awesome. Right.
Jason's asking what I'm asking for it. Jason, like I said, I'm kind of thinking I'd like to do a trade of some sort. But if you have a cash offer, shoot me an email. I'm good on QRZ, or you can even send me a message through my website, and I'll get in touch with you, and we can talk about it, and I'll entertain an offer. But I'd love to trade. I'd love to get eventually an Elecraft, like an old K1 or a KX1, or if somebody really hates the KH1 and wants to get rid of it. Yeah. Anyway, just if you don't have any of those, just let me know. Jason, I don't have your email address, but you can email me, Andy at n0apx.com. I'm good on QRZ. Shoot me an email. I don't have yours, Jason, but if you want to shoot me an email, Andy at n0apx.com, I'd be glad to discuss it with you. So
sounds good. Jason, if you have trouble finding him, I'll just message me anytime I get you hooked up with Andy. He's pretty easy to find. And Jason, I think you're in the Discord server. Andy is also in our Discord, so you can find him in my Discord easily too.
Oh, okay. I'll see if I can find you. KQ4UEI. I'll try to find you in the Discord, Jason. Send you a DM.
Perfect. All right, buddy. If you find anything else, sign back in. All right, appreciate Andy there. What else we got? Nobody else is waiting. Nobody else is ready to join. So, what else we got? I'll drop the link in the Discord or in the chat again here. We'll sit here for a little while. I want the show to go at least 1 hour time. So, otherwise we'll just sit here and hang out. N3WER, Chris says, Barter Guy. That's right. Barter. It's a long Discord name. All right, well, we'll get y'all hooked up one way or another. That's for sure. So I found out some news today, guys, that I'm a little frustrated about, but it is what it is, and we'll be okay with it. I am going to be out of town for field day this year. I didn't really realize that when my wife made the plans for the trip this year. Every summer we go to Maryland to visit some family, and unfortunately, that's going to fall on field day weekend this year. So I had to break the news to my Smoky Mountain Amateur Radio Club folks that I'm not going to be there. However, all is not lost. I'll still be covering field day for you guys. I've reached out. I'm going to be in Maryland. So you folks, if you're in the northeastern Maryland region, this is an opportunity for you to get to meet me. I will be, now I'm not going to be there the whole time, but I will be at the Chesapeake Bay Radio Association's field day, which is going to be in Port Deposit, Maryland. And let me see if I can get y'all some information on their field day here, because I don't want y'all leaving in the dark, especially if you want to come out and say hello, shake the hand, have an eyeball cue. So let's see here. Almost there. Yep, here it is. Share screen, share screen. And we announced this earlier today on Facebook. So if you're not a fan on Facebook, come join the Facebook. It's free. Don't have to do anything. But it's the Chesapeake Bay Radio Association that's going to be located at the Water Witch Fire Company. Now, that's an interesting name for a fire company, but it's a fire station in Port Deposit, Maryland. It'll be on June 28th through June 29th. Chesapeake Bay Amateur Radio Club. They are Whiskey Alpha 3 Sierra Fox Juliet. They're going to have go-to station, youth opportunities, all kinds of different things. So we're excited about this event. It's going to be at 16 Abrahams Road, Port Deposit, Maryland, 21904. 21904. And I've already been in contact with these guys. Looking forward to coming and hanging out with them. We're probably going to be late afternoon, early evening over there. You want a link? I can give you a link, that's for sure. Guys, if you are interested in the field day event in Maryland, coming out and saying hello, I'm putting the link in the chat right now, so go check that out. And I can't say thank you enough to these folks for opening the doors to me and letting me come out there and spend a little time and harass them a little bit, right? So it'll be great to see a different setup for once. I love my smart friends, but I've been doing them for the past 3 years. It's time for me to experience a different location and a different setup. So I'm excited to do this one. Just won't be quite as much as I have in years past. So yeah, go check them out. They've got that. They've also got another website. Their website it's quite long, but if you go to the HamShackTV Facebook page, which you see that right there, this is the link, wa3sfj.net/WP1026. Go check them out. They're great guys, and we actually became a member today just to show them a little support and appreciate their willingness to join with us. Chris says tons of gear for sale, but camera is on the other PC. Well, I'll let it go. If you want to join, you're more than welcome to join and verbalize it. I don't like to do text, text listings those are not fun. Text listings are not fun. So if you want to join Chris, you're more than welcome to come on in here and get some stuff. Guys, don't forget Super Chats are available and channel memberships too. Super Chats are down below. You'll see a little flashing little light there. You just click on that and decide what you want to do. That's a good way to throw a tip in the tip jar. Appreciate you guys. Several of you watching. We've been doing this. This is now the second week that we have done. This is the second week we've done the swap shop, so appreciate the response. And y'all are coming in, so it's definitely worth the time to do it. Y'all are hanging out with me on a Thursday night. Appreciate that. I do understand. I have been told that my times, or this particular time slot conflicts with coffee and ham radios. I've had a few reach out to me. Carlos, Life at Terminal Velocity, and a few others have reached out to me about it conflicting. And the unfortunate thing that I can say about that is the ham radio space is getting crowded on YouTube, and we're going to conflict with someone in the future. We're always going to. So this was the less of the evils. Didn't want to conflict with Jason. He's typically on Sunday nights. I think Josh typically does Friday nights. Clubhouse is on Tuesday nights. A lot of ham clubs meet on Monday nights. Sunday nights are Jason. I already said that. Saturday night, no one's looking at YouTube. And Wednesday night, a lot of folks are in church. So kind of hard to do that. Chris says, wasn't ready, but to have to cam, that's fine. Whatever's good for you, Jason. And or not Jason, Chris. And Jason says, stop doing a rain dance, please. You got that right. It's rained here for the past week. It's just off and on. Just pesky rain, not even good thunderstorms or anything like that. Well, let's see here. Several of you watching, if you haven't already, jump in the chat and let me know who's watching and where you're from and all that good stuff. Chris says, I will do next week. I have a T70, a 706 Mark II G, Shack in a Box. Those are great radios. That's a great radio. Got a G90. Big This A. I'm not sure what Big This A is. A FT1000D. No, go right for it, Andy. Go right for it. Nice and new. So yeah, we'll look forward to that from Chris next week. It says dig this. Oh, I got you. I get you. That's cool. Let me take a look at that. I want to take a look. Jason is asking Chris, what does he want for the G90? $350 unused, but Mars modded. Wow. You're telling me that you have this thing brand new. Hang on. Let me do a little reveal here for you. Check this out. He says he got that brand new. If you do, that is outstanding. And he wants to know how much for the 706. Chris says 500. Jason says copy. This is a beautiful rig. I'm not into older equipment, just to be honest with you. I'm not. I like, if it ain't got a color screen and a waterfall, I'm not really into it. Let me just be real. I'm lazy like that. So I've played with radios like this. This is a beautiful rig. Beautiful rig for its age. I don't know when these came out. That's what I'm... Okay, manufactured Japan from 1990 through 1990 something. So that's outstanding. And you have it almost new. That's outstanding. Cool. Well, we look forward to having that on next week. For sure. No one has an antenna SWR question if you're open to getting off topic. Well, we're sitting here waiting. Nobody's joining the stream to buy, sell, or trade anymore. So yeah, if you've got a question, guys, I'm not the most technical person, but maybe we've got some folks in the chat that can help. I know Andy is good. Andy's the godfather of N0 APX antenna, so he's pretty good on SWR. Come on, what you got there? Bring it on. And while we're waiting on that, I'm going to drop the link in the chat too. Again, if you want to buy, sell, or trade, this is the link to do it. Chris says, I'm an Elmer, ask away. And Andy says, ham radio Elmer, what about $100, a true SDX, and an MFJ power meter? Ooh. Ooh. Jason says, bring it. Andy says, and an antenna. That's interesting. That's interesting. All right, let's bring Nolan on. Let's see here. Make sure I know what we're talking about. Nolan, what's up, buddy?
Just got done eating Indian food. We're in Allentown, PA this week for work. So I got the hotel background here instead of my ham shack. So all right. So this week I had my 2-meter mobile in my Jeep that's been sitting undriven for probably the last 4 or 5 years. Finally pulled it out, brought it down in a shack, and I don't have a 2-meter antenna. So I figured, all right, I'm going to make one real quick. Grabbed a piece of coax, stripped the jacket off the coax, stripped the shield off the coax, and made basically folded back the shield and made a simple coax dipole, 2-meter dipole. It was around, I can't remember what the exact measurement was. It was like 17 inches or something. And one thing I noticed, the SWR was absolutely everywhere. And then what really got me was I was trying to isolate the SWR and isolate the antenna and take myself out of the sort of circuit or out of the system. And I put that piece of coax inside a probably 1/2-inch PVC tube. Or it was like Schedule 40 or something like that. And I watched the SWR move as I inserted the coax into the PVC. And I'm trying to figure out why that plastic PVC had an interaction with that circuit.
Interesting. Well, let's bring Andy on. I bet you have an answer, Andy. Are you there?
I think he's buffering. It's that AOL internet.
It's that AOL internet. I wish I could make the 56K sound.
Yeah.
There he is.
I don't think I'm in the...
You're just way behind, Andy.
There we go. There we go. All right. Yeah, sorry, my connection's behind. But anyway, Nolan, did you say this is a mobile antenna?
So it's I didn't even get it hooked up to, so I have it's a ICOM 9, I don't know what it is. It's an older D-Star 50-watt mobile 2-meter 70 centimeter. I didn't even get it hooked up to the radio yet. So I have an MFJ antenna analyzer that I threw this coax stub on. And before I even got it hooked up to the radio, I went to analyze it to make sure I had it cut right, and it was just wonky.
Yeah. So, okay, so I'm my connection was a little bit off, and I missed a couple. I think I missed a couple of the details you had there. But did you say the dipole is basically a piece of coax with shield stripped one direction, center conductor stripped the other? Supposed to be the end goal was to take that, insert into a piece of PVC pipe, and that was the plan.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, the plan was to just have the not have the PVC pipe at all, to just kind of throw the coax out there. And I was getting weird numbers and weird SWRs.
Is this for your home? Is this for your home shack or for a mobile setup?
It was just going to be temporary for home. Oh, well, it was going to be permanent if it worked. But now I'm the new proud owner of a Comet GP9.
Yeah. So I'm thinking And I think I understood you said this was for 2 meters. I'm thinking what kind of coax is it?
It was, if I get out of the chat here, it might, I have a video of it, but if I swipe up to go see that video, it might close me out. If I disconnect, I'll be right back.
That'd be
Oh
fine.
yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right.
I'm kind of thinking while he's looking that up, I'm kind of thinking, those numbers can be finicky. I don't know exactly what the spread was that he got there. Once he pops back in, I'll ask him what kind of SWR spread he was getting. But it could be multiple different things, but I could see a situation there where if he did not have it in any PVC pipe to start with, those they were just moving enough around there without anything to hold them in place that they were causing all sorts of fluctuation there. And also if it depends on how big the fluctuation was. If it's a if it's a wide a fluctuation there, then he might be getting some interference there. But I'll wait till he pops back in here. I got a couple questions to ask him and a little bit of a possible suggestion, but we'll wait till he jumps back in here.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. I didn't know if you could still hear us or not.
No, I can hear you. I'm just trying to go back.
So, yeah, you're good, Nolan. I'm thinking, what you're probably gonna want to do how wide was the spread on the SWR there? How much?
It was like I'm trying to remember. It was like 5-1. It was any. Yeah.
Something's wrong. So, if your coax was sound up to that point, then I'm thinking you're gonna want to try. Maybe putting a 1-to-1 Ballon, or just see if that might see what that does for it. I would just be interested to know that may, if you either buy or build a 1-to-1 transformer there, then that might help you out. But you also might want to, instead of cutting just the end of your coax, I think N3WR suggested this, copper pipe, even some wires, or copper rods or something at the end, cut to length instead of just using the coax. You might get better performance if you soldered it, took those wires and soldered them onto something a little bit wider, a little bit broader there, get you a little bit better performance. But if it's like an issue like it could be an issue where you need a 1-to-1. Honestly, I would just play with it for a little bit. Try putting a 1-to-1 on there before you're, put a piece of coax, then a 1-to-1, then your dipole, or put a piece of coax and then build a dipole, put it on the end of that. Instead of turning the end of your coax into a dipole, actually build a separate dipole, and connect your coax into that. Build it out of some material that's a little bit thicker, like N3WER there said, either copper or just some sort of a heavier gauge material. I would tend to think that might be wise to try that.
That was my first thought, honestly, was doing a 1-to-1, but I don't have enough brains to figure out how to do that. Ballons are not my thing. I just did one of the the dually antenna. If you've ever seen one of those, Josh, I'm sure you can pull that up for everybody. But that's kind of a build your own balance.
I just heard about that one. That's a very interesting. Yeah, that's a very interesting. unit there. But what I would, instead of a balun, why don't you first just go ahead and try the actually building like a separate unit. Like you can get like a panel mount SO239 connector and build a just a separate dipole off an SO239 connector with one wire going or one, one side going one direction, the other side going the other. Your panel mount section comes off the shield. Your center pin comes out the top of the panel mount SO239 connector, and that would you could just build one off of that and then plug your coax, your PL259 from your coax into that when you're done. Another option, somebody in the comments said a J-pole. I've heard those are very good. I've never built one myself, but like a J-pole out of ladder line or copper pipe or something like that. Something I've had very good performance out of, at least for my local repeaters and stuff, is a quarter wave ground plane. Randy K7AGE has an amazingly good video on how to build a very simple, very cheap 2-meter quarter wave ground plane, where you basically take an SO239 panel mount connector, solder 4 quarter wave radials and 1 quarter wave vertical, and I've had excellent performance out of that. You can stick it up on a piece of PVC pipe in your backyard. You can even like set it on top of a wood post if you have one. That's they're just great little antennas, super easy to build and a lot of fun to use. But I tend to think that a J-pole and maybe even the quarter wave is going to get you a little bit better performance than maybe a dipole as far as 2 meters goes. Now, if you're talking HF antennas, I love dipoles. They're amazing. But for 2 meters, dipoles are excellent. They're great. But if you can't get it very high, you might want to try something like a J-pole or a quarter wave ground plane, unless you're going to get it, way up there. Anyway, that's just my thoughts.
So copper J poles are great. I can attest to those. I have used copper J pole for my home as long as I've been a ham. They are outstanding, and this is a good example of one too. It's just basic. You can a lot of times buy them pre-made, which Andy, you might ought to get into this business if you're in the antenna business. But you can buy them pre-made sometimes, or you can make them yourself. You just got to have the right measurements for the pipe. But they work phenomenally.
We do a lot of electrical low voltage, so I was thinking about building a J-pole out of all thread and unistrut.
Yeah.
I've seen some designs for that too. But the thought was, so eventually I wanted to get a nicer antenna for 2 meters and 70 centimeters, but I figured I had it. I just wanted to throw a temporary antenna up, build something real quick. And the thought was to take it, and we have plastic siding on a house, and there's a little channel that runs up on the corners. I could take that coax and tuck it right in that channel, but didn't work.
Yeah. Well, I'm with Andy. For dipoles, any kind of end-fed, anything like that, to me, that's not necessary for VHF or UHF. HF wire antennas, absolutely all day long. Completely agree.
Also Nolan, it does depend on what kind of coax you were using too. Hopefully you were using something more than RG316, because RG316 is not going to get you good performance at all on 2 meters or anything above. You're going to want something a whole lot better than that.
It was probably like 58. I think it was a little bit smaller than I use 58 than like a quad.
They say it's kind of lofty a little bit on 2 meter, but I use 58. I believe I use 58. I really like it. I use it on about everything. It's kind of just that mid range there. It's not too lossy, but it probably performs a little bit better on HF than it does on VHF. But still, you shouldn't be getting those SWR issues like that. I would try building a separate antenna or building a new model. Like I said, Randy K87AG has a great video on that quarter wave ground plane for 2 meters. It's a great video.
And J-pole would be your best bet too.
I don't know if you caught it, but I said at the beginning that I'm a new proud owner of a Comet GP9, which is an 18-foot vertical. So that'll be fed with LMR 400.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, the J4 would be your best. It's like Josh and Andy said. It'd be the simplest one, the pre-made. Hook your feed line up to it. Done. Hook it to the radio. It's kind of like my end set here. I got it hooked up to the porch. Goes about 40 feet up in the air, horizontal. I don't have to do nothing. Same thing, J-pole. You plug it in, done deal.
Yeah, Andy, exactly what like you were saying, the panel mount connector and just running 2 wires, one off of the center, one off of the shield. That's what I was doing for the longest time with a 20-meter dipole. And then I upgraded to the ZS6 BKW because I was getting some RF back into the shack. I didn't have balun on it, and I was getting some RF back, and I figured just make it easy on myself and buy something.
Yeah. Yeah, even with those, even with a dipole, I've had issues with RF in the shack. You just want some sort of a common mode current choke. That subject can go way beyond my head, those common mode current chokes. But if you want somebody to talk to you about a common mode current choke, go join the Ham Radio Workbench Discord and ping Smitty, Mark N6MTS. That guy's brilliant when it comes to that kind of stuff. So go track him down if you have any questions on common mode current chokes. But those are definitely something that would eliminate that issue from your shack. So.
Hey, Andy, I just thought of something. I watched a guy called Walter Ten, and let me tell you, when it comes to antennas, verticals, and all that, he knows his stuff. Would that help him out?
I'm sorry, your audio is a little bit. I missed the first part of what you said.
I said I watched a guy called Walter Ten. He knows like verticals and end feds and stuff. What we're talking about, like inside out. I wonder if he would watch a couple of his videos, if that would help him out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just more learning information. Absolutely. I like getting a hold of all the learning material I can when it comes to stuff like that. I mean, if it's interesting, if it's boring, I last about 30 seconds and then I'm gone. But if somebody's really showing you how it's done and it's really, really worth watching, then absolutely. I mean, any resource is good. So.
We're all
Andy, do you have salty?
If
Did
you
you
want
get salty?
since you're in the
Wolfsburg?
StreamYard, Jason, you can put that in the private chat and.
Yeah, well,
I think our connections are kind of slow and laggy here, but Jason, if you want to put that link in the private chat, I'm sure Josh can share it back out to the comments.
Sure.
I will.
Surely. But we're all here to learn. That's one of the great things. We don't have to just buy, sell, and trade. We can sit here and learn. Like this guy. This impressed the fire out of me when I just read this.
Nice.
I am 12 years old. I'm not 12 years old. I wish I was. I am 12 years old, studying for my amateur extra, already on the practice test I will test in June. 12 years old going for extra. That is outstanding.
That's my good friend Otis.
Oh, is that Otis? Okay.
Yeah,
hey, Josh, you want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
I'm going to be too
yep,
also
that's Otis,
for
FPT, good friend of mine.
But no, I'm going to be for guard, and they told me they had a 6-year-old go for an Amtraktor and pass and got a 50-50.
Oh, wow. That's insane. I was a VE. Well, I still am a VE, but I used to be much, much more active in the VE landscape. I am accredited with ARRL, West Cars, W5YI, Garg, Anchorage. I think that's all of them. But anyway, I've heard of unicorns like that, and it's a rare find.
Oh, yeah.
They're rare. They're out there.
But it happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of radio were you hooking this up to for this antenna? No one?
It was an ICOM 2 meter, 70 centimeter, 50 watt D-Star.
The 5100?
It's got it. I think so.
Because it got the icky black gray screen. or the color?
It's a gray screen detachable head unit.
All right, that's 5100. Yeah. Um. Hmm.
Oh, I've
But I
actually
didn't even get to that radio. I just had it on the MFJ antenna analyzer.
Right.
I've actually got my I've got my 5100 up for sale.
Yeah, I would go with the J-pole or the Hustler or Comet makes good. I think it's Hustler. They make good 2 meters, 7 meters, and everything, stuff like that.
I don't think you heard me. The Comet GP9 is what I ended up getting.
Oh. Hmm. Yeah, I would go with J-pole then. And go with that.
I am trying. Otis is looking for my Discord link, and I'm trying to do it, but for whatever reason.
Since we're talking,
go ahead, Andy.
Go ahead, Andy.
sorry, since we're talking ham radio questions, does anybody have any idea? I've got a mobile rig. I believe it's an Anytone 5888 UV3, I believe is what it is.
The tri-band or single? The
it's
O-band.
like 60 watts on 2 meters, like 40 or 50 on 440 and and it does have 220 in there as well. My problem is I've got it plugged into the just a 12-volt jack in the car to power it, but whenever it gets cold, like whenever it drops like in the 40s Fahrenheit, I get an overvolt warning and cannot transmit. It will not let me transmit it just won't let me transmit until it warms up. Any idea why? After it gets warm, it's totally fine, but when it's cold, gives me an overvolt warning. Won't let me transmit.
That's really weird. That's how I do it when it overheats. Or something. And does it when it gets cold? Okay, that's a first.
Absolutely, yeah. I can't hardly use it in the winter.
What do you think, Josh?
I think you need to put an amplifier on it to warm it up.
Might want to put some hand warmer or something. That's got me. Okay. God, that's like when I toss it through a car wash. And you got to plug in like the 12-volt cigarette lighter, right?
You're muted, Andy. I would.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, just the 12-volt plug.
I'm going to tell you this right now, and it took me. Well, let's see how long I've been ham now. 15 years. It took me 15 years to learn this lesson. I would go away from that cigarette lighter just as soon as you can. If you can punch a little tiny. It's a little difficult. Of course, I have a 2018 F-150, but there is a rubber gasket that is right under the wiring harness, and it's probably similar on most vehicles. But there's a little rubber gasket. Take a drill or a coat hanger, wire coat hanger, and just punch a hole through it, and just pull your power cable through it. You can attach your red directly to the battery, and then attach your black to whatever, just as long as it's the chassis or something.
Any kind of metal, yeah.
Yeah. Like for me, I've got mine attached to a seat bolt. That does it just
Absolutely.
fine.
Well,
Yeah.
You said you were getting over voltage?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good info.
I was going to suggest getting a battery, Andy. Get an Explorer battery and put it in the back seat or the floorboard and just connect it to see what that does.
Andy, you said you were getting an over voltage
It's
warning?
weird because it only happens when it drops like around 50 or below. And it gives me an over voltage. It gives me an over voltage warning. Yep, that's right.
Have you hooked up a voltmeter when you're getting that warning?
Good question.
You know what?
Not yet. No, I haven't tried hooking up a voltmeter to it. I can give it a shot, but I have not tried that yet.
Careful what you ask for, N3WER. You just got it.
Now, Andy, I got a question. Once it warms up, it works fine, right? He'll get back to me.
Yeah, his connection's getting wonky. I can tell because his video signal
Yeah,
gets fuzzy.
absolutely. Yep, does great after it warms up.
Okay. I mean, this is a first. But I do agree with you, Nolan. Put a voltmeter on, see where the voltage is, where it's at. See if it's going up or dropping down.
Maybe that's a little bit better as far as connection goes. But yeah, once it warms back up, it's totally fine.
Yeah, that like I said, I'm baffled on that one. But I agree with Nolan. Put a voltmeter on.
Yeah, I can definitely get that.
I would do that too. I'd isolate it, get a battery, hook it up directly up to a battery,
Josh,
and
if you can hear me,
isolate
I'm
it from the
gonna pop out
vehicle
for just
electrical.
a second, pop back in, see if that fixes my connection.
Okay, you're good, Andy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He get like a 5-element battery or a 4 battery, put it in the back seat or hook it up. See that what it does. If it does the same thing, then there's something wrong with that radio.
Okay.
I was
Good
talking
idea.
to somebody yesterday on Discord who was asking about they were getting like 5 watts of reflectance on and 8 watts out. They were getting like a 5-to-1, and he was asking why his antenna tuner SWR meter was chattering.
Doing that, yeah.
And I told him, like, you got too much RF coming back, first of all. And I said to him, take everything apart and start working on everything one by one. What's your electrical system look like? Hook up a voltmeter to it, transmit, see if you have any voltage drop. And then I said, do you have one of the best tools that you can have is a 50 ohm dummy load?
Yeah.
As you hook up a 50 ohm dummy load, you can tell whether it's your radio that's having the problem or your antenna that's having a problem. And just knowing where the problem is can help you solve it really quick.
Yeah. Well, I noticed everybody likes to go to the major problem instead of looking at the little simple one like you just pointed out. Put the dummy load on. Then you can tell here, there, if it's the antenna, radio, beeline, whatever you're trying to do. And then, like you say, you can narrow it down the middle. Okay, I got this problem. Now I know how to fix it.
Yeah, for any new hams or any hams that are just getting into it or looking to build up, their kit or whatever they have, Amazon, $20, grab a 25 watt dummy load, and it'll save your bacon.
True. That is true. A dummy load will save you.
Andy's back. Let's see if he's any better now.
We may not.
All right, did you restart the motor now, Andy?
I hope so.
I want to say hello to Jonathan. Jonathan just joined.
Hello, Jonathan.
Appreciate Jonathan. He helps us out with Skywarn KC8 KC8 CPW. I always screw up his call sign. You're just obsessed with them fireworks, aren't you?
Do it again, and do it again.
I'm waiting on somebody to throw the super chat down so I can play the clip. That's what I'm waiting on. Well, I tell you what, we ought to have there ought to be something for Andy to do fireworks. I don't know what that is yet.
And I can't do it from here. I would. Gotta be like, Josh, play the clip.
Play the clip. Play the clip.
Go buy an antenna if you want me to do the fireworks. I will do the fireworks every time you buy an N0 APX antenna.
There you
go.
Really? So
while we're on the stream,
I'll buy 1 million of them. So you better get busy.
My buddy Leroy says super chat.
Hey, if you buy 9 of them, I will do 9 fireworks rounds. Absolutely, just for you, Jason. If you buy 9 of my antennas,
he'll shoot fireworks all night.
My antennas, yeah, you'll get the fireworks.
He'll shoot fireworks all night long.
I'll make you wear out that button. You can be like.
My buddy Leroy typed the word super chat in. Well, that's not a super chat, unfortunately.
No, that don't count.
Nice try. Nice try. Appreciate
I
that.
give him credit. He tried.
Chris says he's a Skywarn member. That's awesome.
Nice. But yeah, I do agree with you, Nolan. A dummy load will pretty much take you everything.
Looking up the N0 APX antennas. You know what? I saw this earlier this week. I was looking at Discord and I saw you post that video.
Which one? Who, me? Andy? Oh, Andy. Sorry. Thought you talking to me. I was like, what video?
The biscuit.
Oh, that's Andy. Yeah.
Jonathan said, been here since the start of the show. Appreciate you being there, bud.
What's going on, Jonathan?
Otis says, crazy fact, he has 9 displays, but he doesn't use all of them at once. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine.
Okay.
I have, well, if you count my camera monitor, I've got that one, I've got this one, that's 2, 3. If you count the 7300, that's 4. If you count my Sense Cap, that's 5.
That'll be 5, yeah.
And then the 50, my desktop 5100 sitting up there, that's 6. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot, Josh.
You ought to see me when I'm in full weather mode.
Oh, I can just imagine.
I got Doppler, I've got logs, I might have a stream up. I forgot. I have a TV up there too. So make it 7.
Hold up a second. I forgot. I got a phone too. What am I thinking? Dude. What do you think, Jason? You didn't see that. All right, now I just got to find you.
Andy, you've already got it, bud.
There we go.
I think I already made you one.
All right.
Andy, you've already got it.
We'll give you a little extra going on here, but that'll be all right.
I think I already did it.
Say what now?
I got your private chat. I think I already gave it to you.
Let me send a message and I'll see if the blue wrench pops up.
All right, Josh. Play the clip.
Yeah, Josh, I don't know. I just sent a test message to see if the blue wrench pops up. I don't think it does, but it might.
I don't see it. Let me look at it here in a minute. But
no, I just sent it.
The gauntlet has been thrown yet again. Play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man. All right, let's.
Jason loves the $1 Million Man.
You're darn right. I love wrestling.
Appreciate the 2.
Oh, no problem, bro. I'm here to support my family.
I'm gonna have to find some more challenges here. I don't know what we might end up doing, but we'll figure it out. Andy, you showed up blue, so I think you're solid. I think.
Do the fireworks, Andy.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I think my connection lagged here. Sorry, Josh, but yeah, thank you much.
You're good. You're good.
But yeah, like I was saying, Josh, I can't wait to get that hex antenna. Gotta have the hex antenna, the tripod. Gotta have the auto match and cable for the 86 meters, and I'm getting the Delta loop wire that goes across it. Oh, I can't wait to get it.
You know what you also can't wait for?
What's that?
This.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man. All right, let's.
Look at that. You didn't even have to do anything. Jonathan,
I
for
know,
the 2. Thanks, buddy.
Gotta love it. Yes.
All right.
But yeah, I can't wait for that antenna. I heard that thing is awesome.
Yeah. I tell you, my dream antenna as of right now, I saw it over at Dayton, was that VHQ Hex. That thing is beautiful. Beautiful.
Does Apple make that, or is that somebody else?
I'm not sure. It was just, the booth was VHQ Hex. I wish I would have had more time to get over and talk to them.
Well, once you go to the next hand convention, he's the same guy there. Go talk to him.
Yeah, I will. I feel like, and this, I guess this is a little bit of confession time. I feel like I kind of dropped the ball with Hamvention. Got the interviews I wanted to get, well, most of them. I wanted to get an interview with the Flex folks. They were constantly busy. I wanted to get an interview with ICOM. They were constantly busy. Yasu was constantly busy. VHQ was. I mean, it was tough. It was tough to get James and Professor Jim, if I'm being honest about it.
Oh, it's hard to get a hold of them. Yeah, but you got to look at it this way, Josh. You're a one-man army going into the war zone, and there's so many booths, so many people. You can't do it all.
Yeah,
You're gonna need at least, I would say, 4 or 5 people, maybe tops. So you could be in one section, and this guy can be in the next section. She could be, try to do it one by yourself. That's not easy. And I gotta give you YouTubers props for that, because you're going to the war zone.
my legs were about to kill me.
Oh, I bet.
Friday was the hardest. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even stay the whole time it was open Friday. I was there from what I call rope drop. That's when they open up.
Yeah.
To about 1:30, and I finally said, I went back to Jason's camper, Ham Radio 2.0, and sat down for, I don't know. Yeah, I maybe sat over there for about an hour, and then I finally said, I can't do it. The air was so heavy because of the humidity.
Yeah.
And not to mention it was 80-something degrees.
Did you ever find out why he never answered you that day of that bad storm up there?
I finally got a hold of Jason.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Why did he go on the NOR list?
Well, they were over at the Hope Hotel seeing spurious emissions.
Oh, so he didn't say the camper. Okay. Good.
Yeah, he was okay. He was not there, but I have his cell phone number. His
I was texting him on All-Star all night long, and he didn't respond. Just to make sure he was okay, because I got his All-Star number.
Yeah. Well, and a few hours after it happened, I saw Frank Tank Radio posted a video, and he was in it. So
Tank, yeah,
I felt better, but I did get a hold of him, and they were all good over there. But
when you mentioned, well, Tank, we need to give him a lot of support, because he's just feeling really down. He don't think he's doing good enough. Which, in my opinion, he's doing awesome sauce, but he doesn't feel that way. So any kind of support we give him, let's give him just attaboy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. If you're not already subscribed to Tank Radio, go check out Tank Radio. Frank,
he's an awesome guy.
He is awesome. When I passed him in subscriber count, I was playful with him, but I kind of felt bad about it. But
right,
go check out Tank. He deserves every subscription that I've got and more.
And he's getting really depressed right now. You can tell in his videos, because when I first started watching, oh my God, it was yay! Now it's like you have to pull teeth just to get that out.
Yeah.
But anything we can do to help keep him going and for him, I'm there for it,
Yeah. Let me catch up on some chats here, because there's a whole bunch of crap here I've missed.
Go ahead.
Let's see here. Otis says, for anyone planning to go to the Milton Ham Fest, here's the QR code so you can buy. Okay, can't see QR codes in the chat, unfortunately. Maybe you have an actual text link, or Andy, if you've got a text link to that might be good. Chris says VHQ is $1,800. Ouch.
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 Ouch. Yeah, that's ouch.
Get me to 100,000 subscribers and we'll think about it. Let's see here. Andy said, well, I don't know why I'm reading Andy. He's sitting here. He can say it. Buy one of the Infeds and you'll get fireworks. And Otis says, go check out Andy's channel. Talking about Hailstorm. Yeah, we did have hail up there. Let's see here. There is Otis's channel. Check that out. Andy's Discord. Andy's got a great Discord too, y'all. So if you're looking for technical support, that's a good place to go. He can help you with that. Andy said the storm went through Missouri first. We're just putting all the Discord links in here. Here's Otis's Discord.
Sorry about that, Josh.
And Andy's absolute carnage in the Northeast. That's true. Chris says, "Say it right, tank," or it's tank. I kind of like that tank.
That rhyme. That works.
Tell Frank that and see what he says.
He says guy wire, lol. I said tank, it's guide wire. That's a good question. Is it guy wire or guide wire?
Guy wire.
Guy wire.
Definitely
G-U-Y.
guy wire. GUY.
Yeah, G. Yeah.
I've always thought it was guy wire. I mean, I've got a background in broadcast, radio and TV, and I've always seen it as guy wire. So anytime I hear somebody say guide wire, I have to do a double take on it.
Right.
So,
Josh, I could send you a link to a whole Wikipedia article. It's guy wire.
Oh, I guarantee you could.
Oh, Dave, KE6GAE, the Hillbilly Ham. Hello. Now, he's a local friend of mine. He's one of the local yokels here in southwestern Missouri. Nick's a ham and, on YouTube as the Hillbilly Ham. So go check him out. Subscribe to him. He's trying to, I guess me and him are in somewhat of a friendly race to 100 subscribers. So go subscribe to both of us.
God, I remember when I struggled to get to the 100. It felt like it took forever, and truth be told, it only took me about 2 weeks. But I did it on the heels of Huntsville, so that kind of made it go a little faster than it should. Yeah. Chris says I'm a tower installer. And then look at my Discord, Josh. You will see the QR code for the Ham Festival. I'll tell you what, let's do that now. I will display it on the screen. I
hope I didn't throw too many links in there for you, Josh. I didn't mean to flood the comments.
It took me a minute to kind of process what I was looking at here, but that's all right. Let's see.
I apologize.
What channel is it in? Otis. Looking for it.
Hey, while he's looking for that, Andy, did you see Salty Walt's book?
I saw that it came out, but I haven't got it yet.
I just ordered it. So actually,
nice.
2 weeks ago, I went to the AWR headquarters and I picked it up, and I should have just taken it home.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had a shortage here for a while on that book. And then people have been having a heck time getting it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I did see that book come out, but I haven't looked at it really. I haven't got my hands on it. I haven't ordered it yet. Maybe it'll be at the Smart Ham Fest. It's coming up here June 7th. I'll be there planning on it. So maybe I can take a look at it then.
So I have the ARRL antenna handbook. And I'll tell you what, when I looked at Salty Walt's antenna handbook, it made, if looking back as a new ham and looking at the ARRL antenna handbook and looking at Salty Walt's, everything would have made so much more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't got the antenna handbook yet. I've got the actual handbook, but those things are pricey, man. Those handbooks they're crazy. I haven't got the antenna one yet, but maybe this year at the Ham Fest I can pick one up.
Milton Ham Fest, y'all. Here's the QR code if y'all need to snap a picture of it. But the sad thing is, you scan that QR code, you're going to disappear from the stream unless you're watching on a desktop or a TV. Yeah. But yeah, there it is, y'all.
It's real quick. N3WER. I threw this at you in the comments, and just think about it. I kind of jokingly threw it in the comments, but you were talking about selling your where was it? I'm scrolling up through the comments now, and I can't find it. But I think it was it was the 706 Mark II-G. I believe it was you. N3WER. Yeah, if you're interested in any sort of an equipment trade there, let me know. since this is a buy-sell trade stream.
Yeah, what happened? It turned into a tech net.
Just let me know.
We're combining it all
I
together.
broke it. I'm guilty.
Yeah, point going. It's kind of combining together, Josh.
I'm down. If it's getting views, I'm down. And y'all know I'm shameless about it. Let's get the views.
How many views are you at now, Josh? Here on this stream, how many are we running?
Live right now, we have 16 watching.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you how many's watched it so far. Been in and out or something.
Do you stream across Facebook, YouTube, and X, all across the 3 platforms, or just?
I don't do X.
Okay.
I have an X, but I haven't updated it in forever.
Yeah.
We have had 84 watch on YouTube so far. So
And how many?
Nice.
And what's the total? What's the total view count? Let me rephrase that. What's the total join count now?
For subscribers?
Yeah.
Well, let's look. 7,727. So
Nice.
those of you that are keeping track and keeping score at home for the HF radio giveaway, that means we still need 2,273 subscribers. It's going to happen.
Oh, I see it's going to happen. I say it'll probably in a month or two. Easy. If it keeps up this rate.
Yeah, so I subscribe to a service called Social Blade, and that does analytics, and I can also look at, Jason's channel and see his analytics, and all the other YouTubers' channels, and based off of the prescription. That's not what I'm looking. Predictions, what I'm looking. We don't need a pharmacy. Based off the prediction, it says I should hit it sometime in July, maybe around 4th of July.
So I was about right about a few months.
Yeah, it should be.
Because the way it's doubling each time I look at it, it's doubling each time.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm eternally grateful for where we've came so far. I mean, I started this channel back at Huntsville Hamfest last year, so we haven't even been going a year yet.
Well, it's like the saying goes, you got to crawl before you walk, and you're definitely walking, and walking proud.
Well, I try. It's sometimes it's not the funnest content to produce, but at the and one thing that I have to remind viewers, this isn't CNN or Fox News or the New York Times. At the end of the day, I'm also an entertainer, so. Some of the content made it may have a clickbaity title. I will admit that wholeheartedly. But you know what? It's the name of the game on YouTube. We all know it and we hate it.
Oh yeah.
But it's the name of the day or the name of the game. Let's hit this.
I hate it when some of the news websites will put up a news story with a title that kind of gives you the synopsis of what the news story is about, and then you're like an hour later they change it to just some complete clickbait title.
And have no clue what they're talking about. Yeah.
You have to open the title to find out what it is. So frustrating sometimes.
Oh my God! There's a dead guy in the background.
Good gosh! It's a Crayman beard. No, just kidding. What the heck? What is that? A skeleton? Whoa!
That's what it looks like. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris. Great to see you.
Evening, Chris.
I don't know if his audio is working.
I think you muted, Chris.
He's not showing muted.
Oh. No?
Your audio settings might not be configured right. You can hit the little settings button down at the bottom of your screen and click the audio tab. Make sure you got the right mic connected.
Well, we might have to do something on this here.
Sometimes going out and coming back. I know what it is. Otis says the skeleton is a gamer. That's probably true, but I think the skeleton may have scared the computer. Something like that. Sometimes also going back out and going back in will help. See what we got there.
Oh, nice.
Oh, this is his gear he wants to sell.
Nice.
All right.
I see the 706.
Are you interested in a trade for a whole bunch of random small items for the 706? I think your audio's still off there, Chris.
Still no good, Chris.
Oh, no go.
Let me see. Maybe I can see if it'll let me share my own screen. I don't know if it will.
I wonder if this will work. But if you signed out, sign back, and then bring them back in.
So this is my screen here, and boy, what a cluster. I'm just going to freak y'all out here for a minute. But see where my mouse is, where it says settings? If you click right there, you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, there's camera, and then there's camera resolution. But here on the left side, you'll see audio. And if you click there, just check your mic input and make sure it's right to what you think it should be.
How many mics you got on there, Josh?
Some of them aren't good anymore. It's where I've experimented
many as he has
with
monitors.
different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Hey, don't tempt them to get another one, because you'll just tempt them to do that.
7-3 Otis, great to see you tonight. Have a great evening.
73 Otis.
Oh, I didn't see Otis. Bye, Otis. Thanks for coming by.
Later, Otis. 73.
We'll see if that fixes Chris. Leroy is still hanging out with us in the backstage, but he just said he came to watch. I guess he's watching from the backstage, which there's nothing wrong with that.
But like I said, Josh, we'll build this family up.
Oh yeah, I mean I did a bunch of live streams early on when I first started the channel, and it'd be me playing with FT8 or me calling CQ or something like that, and those streams did okay a few times. Where I've seen a lot of success is I do stream the Hurricane WatchNet when that happens, and those are very, very popular. People will watch; they'll turn that on and leave it on all day.
Oh yeah.
So that's been really good. But I've been looking for a good niche to do a stream. Something that I could do on a regular basis, and a swap shop's a great thing for that because no one's doing it.
No, they're not. That would be different.
Yep. Dave says finally setting down in front of the computer. And Andy's talking to Dave saying, how do you liking that antenna? I think he needs to come on here and talk about that antenna. Still muted,
I would
Chris.
not be offended if you brought him on to talk about the antenna. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
So long as it's good stuff, right?
Let us hope so. But hey, I'll take any feedback. I mean, I just want to make it, better. If there's negative feedback, I just want to make it better. So tell me anything.
Just make them better, Andy.
Jason, feel free to buy one and tell me exactly what parts of it.
Oh, I told you I was going to buy 9 or 10 of them, so just wait.
He's got to let that bank account build back up from his channel memberships and his super chats.
Oh God, yes, and all the hand radio equipment I'm buying off my channel. Yeah. And plus,
I've never been in a position where I could just drop a chunk on like a 7300 or anything like that. I think every radio I've ever gotten has been some sort of a slam dunk deal by a compassionate ham who's selling used equipment. So
right.
I probably never ever would have ended up with an amplifier had I not ran across this amplifier at Dayton. I cannot believe it. I don't know if I showed it.
Oh, the prices they sell for? Yeah.
I mean, they want a fortune for them, but I know it's a little dark, but let me do this here. This is it.
That's nice.
It's the Amp Supply Company LA1000.
Nice.
And I'm totally new to the amp world. Totally new to it. And
well, have you seen the prices of the new ones?
The only thing I know about amps is the price is just stupendous. It's absolutely outrageous.
Oh yeah, they are.
You know what I ended up giving for that amp?
Probably nothing.
$200.
Oh, that's a good deal.
200. That's insane.
Why
Oh
do
my
That's a steal.
Why do you think I carried that damn thing from one side of Hamvention to the other?
crazy.
I would
Wow.
I would have carried that damn thing clear from Tennessee or from Ohio back to Tennessee if I had to.
You would have carried it to Tokyo back.
Somebody was talking about Dayton Hamvention now has a new service where if you buy something, you can check it in, and they'll hold it all day for you.
That's crazy.
Here's the problem. I bought it in the 11th hour on Sunday. So that service was not quite available anymore.
So basically,
We'll hold it. We'll hold it for 1 hour. Yeah.
yeah, 1 hour, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How's it going,
Absolutely.
Chris? You get it set yet?
So let me
Still working
No
on
audio
it?
yet, Chris. You might try just popping out for a second and then popping back in and seeing if your mic
That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah.
Guys, have you seen? Well, I'm getting ready to jump off on another topic. Josh, if the buy sell trade deal doesn't work out, you can just turn this into a ham radio roundtable discussion. Oh,
we got trouble in the
hey,
house.
Dave.
Hey,
how you
Dave,
doing,
what's up?
man?
What's going on, everybody? Is my audio
Well,
working?
Shoot,
Yeah,
you got
you're good,
Yours
Chris.
is working, Dave.
You're
Absolutely,
good, Chris.
you got the best audio of anybody, Dave. That sounds great.
Yeah, you
Oh,
do.
good.
Chris, where are you at? Can you let's try to hear you.
Nope.
Nothing yet.
He was working. Wow.
Speaking of roundtable discussions, you know what makes me feel good being a ham
What's that?
is having a question, coming up with a way to test it, and actually figuring it out. The other day, I built a battery box. Cade MRD gave me some inspiration to finally put one together. And I thought to myself, what happens if I am powering the battery box? So if I have two feeds, right? So if I have 120 volt AC to 12 volt DC power supply, and I have the battery box on the same DC bus, what happens to the current? So I said, all right, I have a 30 amp DC power supply, and I have a 10 amp fuse on my DC bus on the battery. If I hook up a 15 amp load, does the fuse blow? And I never knew about this topic until I tested it, but it's called nodal analysis. And I learned something new that day about nodal analysis and how I literally took a power supply, a variable power supply, and turned up the voltage from 8 volts to 13, 14 volts. And I watched the current on the battery box go from, I hooked like a light bulb or a fan up to it or something. I was pulling like 2 amps of current. And I watched the battery have the load, and then as I turned up the voltage on the power supply on the same DC bus, I watched the battery shed the load, and the voltage, as the voltage went up on the power supply, I watched the power supply take that load. And it was kind of cool to watch and see and learn that.
Well, we're always learning every day.
Well, that's what this hobby's all about.
Yep.
Yeah,
Testing stuff.
very
online.
interesting. I'm gonna have to do some digging because that all half of that just went right over my head. But I'm very highly interested to learn more. So we have to do some digging into that. Speaking of battery technology, have you guys heard about that? The new nuclear batteries. They're like 3-volt cells, but they're supposed to last literally like 50 years each.
Wow.
Of
Wow.
current draw. That's like a new technology. They're testing it in like the little 3-volt, coin cell style. And they're actually, I think they're mass marketing that one now. But can you imagine what you could do if you could build a nuclear battery powered anything, like a car that, would just run for literally
Never
50
be
years
feel ever,
without ever
yeah.
charging it. would be absolutely insane. But I don't know. It's a new technology. They're starting out small, and we'll see. It's also got a potentially a big impact on ham radio antennas. I mean on ham radio batteries. But yeah.
Let me just illustrate this for y'all. Back to the carrying of the amplifier. So right
Don't tell
here,
me you got it at the back of the boneyard.
yes, the very back of the boneyard. I'm in. So right here is the start finish line for the horse track.
Mm-hmm.
Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. I got it in turn 3. Walked it all the way down here and then to the right and then out into the middle of turn 1 and 2. Over to turn 1 where the crossover ramp is. Stopped about halfway and rested because my arm was about ready to die. And then I carried it the rest of the way. 2,129 feet. I remind you that a mile is 5,280 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I carried this over half of a mile.
Wow.
And that thing weighs every bit of 50 pounds or more. It's stinking heavy. This is where Jason's camper was. I was parked at Jason's camper that day. Whew. I learned my lesson. Bring a dolly.
Oh, I was going to add something.
Or a wagon at least.
Yeah. Something.
I'm sorry you didn't have a wagon, but I was going to add to Hillbilly Ham. Like this hobby, it's all about experimentation.
Yep.
Was that this year?
Mm-hmm.
Was that this year? You got that, Josh?
Yeah, I got it last week.
That's
well,
awesome.
Jason, like you were saying, it's about experimentation. If you're not failing in this hobby, you're not trying.
Yeah, very much. You're not failing, you're not learning. Yep.
And if you don't leave Dayton with a freaking bicep the size of Arnold Schwarzenegger, you've done something wrong, apparently.
Well, that's just if you spend money.
Hey, I got a new nickname for you, Josh. Since this popped up, Hercules. But yeah, you're right, Hillbilly Ham. If you're not learning, you're failing, and you're not learning, then you're doing something wrong. But it's all about experimentation, building antennas, building this. That's why we got our license. If we want to go stuff. I'll go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
I don't know if I can. Maybe I can dim it down.
Yeah, it's blown out.
I don't have great lighting in this hotel room here.
Well, it's a hotel room. It's not built to be a TV studio. That's better-ish.
A little bit lower.
I can see something, but
I wish I
could just share my screen.
Drop it to the bottom. Drop it to the bottom and see what
happens. No,
happens.
and back it off some from the screen.
All right, how about that?
Much better.
Right there. Perfect.
All right, so Andy said a lot of this went over his head. So I'm going to try and describe what we have here. So let's say, for example, this is a 2-amp load. It can be a light bulb. It can be a fan. It can be it's drawing current and you're powering it and it's doing its thing. So the test was to figure out where the current would come from if there were 2 sources hooked up to one load. Because I didn't know. I was trying to figure out, all right, if I have a 15 amp, something that's pulling 15 amps, does it pull 7.5 amps equally from both sources, or does it pull 15 from one and 0 from the other? And so here's what I found out to be the answer. Let's say, so this battery right here, it's floating at 12.8 volts DC. And I have my variable power supply set to 8 volts DC. This 2-amp load will pull all of its current from the higher voltage over here. So you will see no current coming from here, and you will see all of the current coming from here. Now, if you turn these so that this 120 volt AC power supply is 12.8 volts, so you have 12.8 volts on the 120 volt DC power supply, and you have 12.8 volts on the battery, you will see 1 amp of current drawing off of the battery and off of the DC power supply. So it'll draw the same exact current. As you continue to turn this up past 12.8 volts, a weird thing starts to happen. So, and this is true just for batteries. So let's say I turn this up to 14 volts. All of the current from this load is on here. And then you start feeding current into the battery. So you'll see more draw on this, and that battery will start charging.
So somehow the very first scenario was I missed something there. So you had 120 volts coming in and with a 2 amp load, and on the other side you had 12.8 volts also going to that 2 amp load. Which side was it pulling from at that point?
So if your voltage on this AC to DC power supply is 8 volts, you will pull all of your current from the 12-volt battery.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's okay. All right. I thought you said it was 120 at first. I was like, okay, yeah, I get you now. That makes perfect sense. Very interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah.
But Ham would agree with me on this one. It's kind of how much like semi-truck batteries work when they're bridged. Sort of. Because semi batteries, you have either a combination of 4 to 6 batteries, depending what the model of the truck. But they're all bridged off. But they do exactly the same thing, what you just said, Nolan. One will pull for this one will pull for this one will pull for this one. It's funky, and once it raises the volts up, it does what you exactly say on semi truck batteries. It does the same exact same thing. It's funky, and you see that's why you see. I drove 25 years. You'll see your voltmeter like do this because it's doing the same thing you just said.
And the question that this all came from was, can I use this battery as a DC backup in the event of a power failure? And the answer is yes. If you have a DC bus and you have a battery connected to it, and that DC bus is fed via a power supply, and that power supply loses, the power supply goes out, you will still retain, and it's instantaneous. It's not like if you use like a UPS where you hear the relay click and it goes from AC to DC voltage, and you have the inverter. It's instantaneous, and I never knew that before. I was able to test it out.
Y'all want to hear a disaster story?
It kind of works like an uninterruptible power supply.
Mm-hmm. That's mind blowing. Just learning that.
So I told this story a couple of weeks ago on Ham Radio 2.0's live stream. So I don't know if you guys were watching or not, but it was the live stream about our Dayton Hamvention plans, and Tank Radio asked a question to everybody. Somebody tell a story about lessons learned when it comes to amateur radio, and here's my lesson. Most all of you know I have 4 kids. I have an 8-year-old daughter who's about to turn 9. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and I have twin sons that are 8 months old. Never, ever, ever, and what made me think of this was what Nolan said a minute ago. Never, ever, ever have a variable voltage power supply if you have little fingers in your house. So I had been in here running FT8, playing around. This is pre-amplifier. Good Lord, if I'd had that amplifier, that would have been a really bad disaster. But I had just finished up for the night, and I'm bad. I'll leave my rig turned on, and I shouldn't do that. Well, I go in the bedroom, which is back here behind me, and I start hearing this loud squealing coming from in here, and I'm like, what in the world? I come flying out around this corner, and this whole office is full of smoke. I had a Yaesu 710 at the time.
30 volts DC on the rail.
Yep. The screen was going absolutely bonkers. Smoke just absolutely pouring out of the radio. I unhook everything as fast as I can without burning myself. Go get pot holders out of the kitchen, pick up the radio, take it out on the porch. and I'm just still totally confused on what's happened.
Andy, did you get your radio from Josh? Because I think that's your over voltage error.
But I come over here.
Thankfully, no.
I come back in here and looked at it. I looked at the power supply, and it's cranked all the way up to 16 volts, and it was not happy.
I bet.
So I emailed
16 shouldn't have done that bad.
Well,
automotive takes 14.1.
Yeah. Well, I emailed Yaesu, and I'm like, what do I do? And I called them and talked to them, and they said, well, just send it in, and we'll look at it. And they said, well, yeah, it cost me a pretty penny to ship that thing. Let's be clear about that. It was like $70 to ship it from Tennessee to California.
I can imagine.
And yeah, so $70, and they called me up one day and said, we're going to cover it. They said, we understand what happened, but the reason we're covering it is because the fuse should have popped. And it didn't. So they covered it, shipped it back at their expense. And I was lucky. I don't have that radio anymore, but
a fuse would blow over current, but it wouldn't blow from over voltage.
Yes, shouldn't have.
I don't know.
Now I got a question. Was that you said that was a gacy defect in that radio? Is all the 710s could be like that?
Say it again, Jason.
You said that was a defect in your 710 radio and everything. Is that could be a defect in all the 710s?
I guess theoretically it could, but I've not heard.
I haven't had a problem with mine.
The 710's a great radio.
That's what I've heard. I'm thinking about getting one, or either the DX10. I keep going back for one.
Depending on what your price is, I'll tell you the only difference. The DX10 has the hardware and the little more filtering.
Yeah.
But I've actually had my DX10 and my 710 sitting side by side with weak signals. I couldn't tell the difference between the two of them.
Yeah, because I heard they got the same filter system in them.
Well, thing is, 710 is a full SDR.
That's true.
DX10 is like the 101 D and MP. It's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Dave let me run his 710 at Moore a few weeks ago, and man, that's a good radio. That's a solid rig.
For the price, absolutely it is.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'll tell you this: KK4PAL and I, we swapped. I got a little frustrated with the menus in the Yaesu. I ended up, me and him traded. He had a 7300, and I had just randomly told him at where was I was at the Chattanooga Ham Fest last year. I had randomly told him that I was interested in the 7300. I was actually staring at one down there thinking about buying it. And he told me, he says, well, I want a 710. I said, well, it's funny you say that because I have a 710 myself. So we just swapped even.
That 7300 is a nice radio.
Once you get used to the Yaesu menus, they're not bad.
No.
They are not new ham user friendly.
No.
But once you figure them out, I mean, because like I've got the 10 and the 710, I can now go to just about any of the radios. Matter of fact, my buddy just bought a FTX1, and I'll probably get to see it this weekend. I've already seen the menu system on it. It's similar to the 710 and the DX10.
It's funny. It's funny you say that. I think Vince, I believe, if I remember right, on a Ham Radio Workbench episode, I think it was Vince that said he really liked the Yaesu menus. He thinks they're more user friendly than some of the other brands, which I find that kind of humorous. But I don't know. I think he said Yaesu is like his favorite. So
once you get used to them, Andy, yeah. But yeah. I wish I'd have seen that one because I'd have kind of disagreed with Vince a little bit. And I'm not an ICOM guy, but the ICOM menus, and I can't say I'm not I don't like ICOMs because I've got a 9700. The 9700 is basically the UHF VHF of the 7300, and the menus for somebody that's not used to the AC menus, the icon menus are more intuitive. I will give them that.
Josh, you got that in search of still that I posted earlier?
Did I write it down? No, I didn't write it down.
And I have to totally agree. When I first got my AC radio, my FT 891, my first HF rig. Oh yeah, the menu system on that, I was like you said, Ham. Like, this does what now?
I love the 891's a great radio.
Oh yeah,
but the 891's menus are not like the DX10 or the 710. The 891's menu is probably the hardest menu to work.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
100%. 100%. I would never, ever, ever have an 891 for that purpose. I played with one at Field Day a couple of years ago and absolutely despise the thing. Now
you've got sub menus for sub menus in the 891.
Hey, I've got it down pat, and I've even got where you can set the EQ on it, and I have got nothing but great audio reports. They think I'm on a base station. One guy thought I was on a 101 MP, and I was like, when I told him I was on 891, he couldn't believe me.
So let me tell you, after being at Dayton, I have kind of rearranged my dream rigs. I had been saying for a long time that my dream rig was the ICOM 7610.
Mm-hmm.
That has been replaced. It's been dethroned. This will never happen unless I'm making like Rick rolls on YouTube.
And I'll bet you I'm thinking of the same radio you are, Josh.
I have a funny feeling he's going to say too.
The Aurora.
Yep.
Yeah, Aurora. 500 watt. How did I know it?
I mean, I'm not trying to bash all the manufacturers, but to me, Flex just turned the industry upside down.
Oh yeah, yes, they rewrote it.
Yes, I mean, this thing does everything. It's got everything you could possibly want except for the antenna.
Does it have VHF, UHF?
No.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that, Andy. But I mean,
and honestly, Andy, I mean, how much more is 500 watts though going to gain you over the 200 in the 7610?
Half an S unit.
How many S units?
One S unit.
Half.
Yeah.
See, you got to remember, Andy, though, most radios, they're about 45% efficient. Because, and I'm not talking about their power, I'm talking about efficiency to run them. Because the temperature and everything on them, they're only about 45% efficient. With what Flex has done with this Aurora, them claiming 80 to 85% efficiency, I don't see it being a problem at all. Plus, I wasn't there, but I talked to some guys that went by and actually got to put their hands on that Aurora, that they were throwing that brick down on that key after 9 hours and no heat in that radio.
That's cool.
I guess the question is the 7610 is like measured output is 200 watts. So your efficiency past the point of not good efficiency, you're still getting 200 watts out. So am I misunderstanding?
Yes,
that?
you're still getting your 200 watts. It's being able how long you can run it, plus the power draw on it. Well, I think they said the Aurora was drawing 9 amps on the key down.
Wow.
They have completely changed with this digital stuff, and I can't remember what they called it, but what they've done for the polarity and everything. Think about it, Andy. It's an 18-pound radio with all of this in it. Go pick that 7610 up and tell me how easy that is.
That's like a brick.
I would.
Nolan, what were you about to say there? I was interested to hear.
So for the longest time, I wanted a 6700, and I still kind of do. But when I got looking into it and I was reading about what everybody else had to say and kind of just my own observations over the last 10 years, Flex absolutely, if you look back 10, 15, 20 years, Flex came out with the 6500, 6700, and they absolutely crushed it. Nobody else was doing the SDR thing, at least to the caliber that they came out with. Since the 6700, when we got hit with all the chip shortages and everything, it's not been good for Flex. And that's been my feeling. Like, Elecraft's doing fine. Yaesu's doing fine. ICOM's doing fine.
Yeah.
You look at Flex, they came out with the Aurora, but you still don't have the features that you had in the 6700 that is what now, a 12 or 15-year-old machine?
Yeah. And there's a lot of new SDR options. And I mean the weight is great, but I mean who's gonna take 500 watts out on a POTA? You know what I'm saying?
No,
And,
this isn't a POTA rig.
You could at that weight.
Oh, yeah, you could.
The thing is, Andy, this whole thing runs off 110 volts.
Yeah.
Everything runs off 110 volts.
So how does the 7760 compare to that, or the 7610? How do they compare to that? Do they run off? Do they have to have?
You gotta have power supplies and all that for them.
Yeah.
That's
so the Aurora is just like plugs into the wall then.
Yeah.
You need nothing except for coax and an antenna for the Aurora.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Hey, Andy, do you remember the old realistic Navajo radio, 40 channel base station?
He ain't old enough to remember that radio.
Okay, I'm asking the wrong person. You remember the realistic Navajo? Same principle. You plugged it in the wall, you turned it on, you hooked your coax like Josh said, and boom.
Yep.
I've always found
Andy's still a baby. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I've always found it really strange ever since I even got into amateur radio 15 years ago. It's just really odd to me that you need a power supply for base stations. I've just never understood that. I mean, I get it with, most of us use mobiles for our 2-meter base stations like this 5100 here. I get that because it's designed for DC, not AC, but these things like these 7300s, they should have the power supply built in to be able to plug it in.
I've Flex before. I've looked at Flex, but honestly, if somebody, dropped $6,000 in my lap and said buy the perfect station, I would probably get something like the I can't remember, the 7610, I believe it is, that top line ICOM, or the 7760. But I mean, just something with, I think doesn't that one have VHF UHF built in?
No, 7710 or 7610 and the 7760 are HF only radios.
Whichever model that is, it's like their top line model that's got the VHF and UHF built in. I mean, I would probably go that route just because I would like everything in one, all the bands in one unit. And the remote operation, it's kind of fun to honestly play around with some of the extra hardware rather than having it all chunked into one box. It's great if you want to put the money on that. I mean, awesome. But I kind of like being able.
There's really only 2 Shack in a Box left, Andy, and that's ICOM 7100 and Yaesu's 991A.
Yeah.
Okay. So
here's my question.
I'm thinking of the 7610. Don't they have, maybe I'm confused now. Don't they have a 200 watt option on the 7610? Or a 70? Is that the 7760?
Yeah,
that's here's the 7760, and just to be clear, guys, I have no affiliation with Gigaparts, unlike some folks we know. ICOM 7760 from Gigaparts, 200 watts for $6,000. That's not. You're getting into Aurora territory with that.
Yeah, you kind of. I thought that one had VHF and UHF. So I'm honestly so far removed from even being able to go down that route right now that I'm just tossing ideas around. So it's not like I have some big opinion.
Well, here's my question about what we were talking about till we got in this. Why doesn't the base station radios that we get today, as you see here on this list, don't plug in the wall? Why do we have
to be huge? Look at K3LR's station, right? One of the biggest stations in Pennsylvania, if not the biggest station in Pennsylvania. K3LR does not permit switch mode power supplies. Period. There are no switch mode power supplies on premise. And to have a linear power supply in every single piece of one of our equipment, you would have massive radios.
That's
for size.
Yeah, just the just the transformer alone to be able to even bring it
Yeah.
in DC.
With that extra
Yep.
weight, yeah. What? Probably another 20 pounds or more.
It depends.
Yeah, on the transformer. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Makes sense.
So
I mean, you look at any commercial RF station. It's all DC. It's
Yeah.
all DC just because of the noise.
Right.
Next week on the 5 Nerds Talking Ham Radio Junk.
yeah, I think we're gonna.
I
I think we're gonna rename this stream. I think the trading post is dead. No, but
The round table.
in all seriousness, I had a feeling that this thing would. I've got to put this beauty back up. I had a feeling that this thing would kind of evolve over time, given the fact that it starts out with trading, and then we get into this round table. So here's that. I had to put the beauty on the screen.
Yeah.
This thing's gorgeous.
Oh, that's sexy. That's sexy.
I like the way it looks probably better than Flex. I mean, Flex has got a good look to it, but they're kind of their own thing. They're their own realm. If you want to get into it, great. But if you want if you want to be on the more nostalgic end of the spectrum, this ICOM's line, I think probably.
Well, you can always get a Flex with a Maestro screen on it and be nostalgic.
I think ICOM hits the modern technology with the old style. You got the big knobs and buttons and everything a lot pretty well. But yes, Flex definitely does have the Maestro, and it's if I had that much money, it'd be a toss up. Since I don't have that much money, I can just sit here and talk about it and not
see if I had that kind of money, I don't know that it'd be a toss up between ICOMs and Flex. If I was going to be a toss up, it'd be between Kenwoods and Flex. And see, my problem with Kenwood, ICOM, neither one of them, and their money's not made in amateur radio. Everybody just starts just like I've heard for 30 plus years, Kenwood's getting out of amateur radio. No, they're not. It's not where their money's made. Their money is made on the commercial side. Both of those companies.
If I was going to drop a bunch of money, I think I would drop it on a Kenwood 990 or 890.
Neither one of them.
I just love those things.
Neither one of them are truly innovating. Yes, Yaesu's coming out with new radios constantly, but are they actually innovating?
But they're beautiful.
the FT1X, yeah, they've made it modular, but are they really innovating? So I mean, I look at stuff like the Flex. They're turning the industry upside down, and maybe that'll make all the rest of them do the same thing. There's another radio that's rising from the ashes that I'm kind of excited about. And that's Tech coming back.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. All the MFG people had to go somewhere.
Now, Ham, your opinion, do you think Aurora is going to rewrite Ham, the book on it? Rewrite the book on Ham?
I think
it's going to depend on how this radio performs out the field. Because I'll guarantee you, they have sold a bunch of those radios already.
They sold a bunch of them in Dayton, I can assure you of that.
I think sell more, yeah.
So, Tech hits home for me.
Yep.
Those of you that don't know, I live in East Tennessee, and Tech was based in Sevier County, which is 20 minutes up the street from me.
Right.
And it was, oh gosh, that was better than going to Dollywood.
Back in the day, Tech. I mean, it was Tech and Collins. Those were the radios.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Tech is he's making everything in the United States. He's not sourcing out of the United States. The factory he set up there, we'll see how it does. But I'm excited that he's and them to call that new radio the Phoenix. The Phoenix is rising from the ashes.
So you think this is their comeback, Ian?
Yeah, the guy that bought Tech is the same guy that owns Alpha Amplifiers.
Okay.
And he's done it right with them.
You know what that Phoenix looks like?
That's a big. Oh, that's nice.
A K3.
Oh my
Elcraft
God!
K3.
Look at that beauty.
Wow. It does.
That's sexy, y'all.
That's sexy all around. I sleep with that radio.
I keep talking about Kenwood and ICOM and everything, but the more I think about it, I mean, I love the Kenwood. I love the Kenwood top of the line. I hadn't thought of them,
Mhm.
but Elecraft, all those guys make some beautiful radios.
Yeah,
Those
but
guys make some. I mean, they're not like modern SDR everything, but man, they hard to. I just
Okay,
No,
Ham,
I
yeah,
like it.
this is
The
a comeback,
K4
yeah.
is modern SDR.
yes, it
They-
is.
they
And
make
Yeah,
a
where is it
solid-
at?
well, that's just like everybody trying to compare the everything that Jesus should have done with the FT1X, should have done everything that Elecraft does. You buy that radio with Elecraft and then buy their amplifier, you're going to spend almost $5,000 right there.
Just alone, yeah.
Oh, crap. Pricey.
This
I have the KX3 and I also have the KXPA 100. And I can do anything with that radio. I can use it as a base station. I can go SOTA. I can go POTA. I can go mobile. I can go.
Nolan, let me know if you're sick of that KX3. I can find somewhere that'll take it off.
Oh, I agree with you.
So-
Nolan. They're great radios.
I actually had to reach out to Elecraft support, which is by far probably one of the best support channels in the industry. And I asked him, I said, hey, can I take an Elecraft KX3 and put that into a KPA 1500? And he said, yeah, sure. You get like 400 watts out of it. And I said, okay, what happens if I take a KX3, put that into my KXPA 100, and then put the KXPA 100 in the KPA 1500? He goes, yeah, you drive it with about 50 watts, you'll get 1500 watts out.
Wow.
So a little tiny itty bitty 15-watt radio is going to put out 1500 watts with a cascaded amplifier.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but look,
I would the
cost of those
entire
amplifiers-
KX line. I like doing a lot of portable CW operating, and the entire KX line, the KH1, the K1, any of those radios, man, they're awesome. I would love to get my hands on one, but it's Elecraft, so they're pricey.
Hey,
One of the
Andy, take the
limitations-
fireworks.
You
One
like
of the
doing
limitations
CW.
with that KX3 that I had was I was talking with somebody on 20 meters AM, and you cannot get a full AM signal out of it. You're limited on your bandwidth.
What, on K3?
What did you say? What did you
On the
say, Jason? About
KX3.
the
Okay, so
Jason? What did you say about the fireworks? I missed
I
that.
said, hit the fireworks, Andy. It's been a minute.
Oh yeah. Well, nobody's bought an antenna. Go over buy an antenna. You'll get. The
I told you I was
fireworks.
going to buy 9. Just wait.
I will have
I'm going
Andy
to make
on,
you
and
fall out of that chair, Andy. That's my example.
I tell you what, when that happens, I will have Andy on, and folks, it's going to look like the Macy's Day or Macy's 4th of July show.
It's gonna look like 4th of July at Mount Rushmore, guys. We're gonna have fireworks.
Neyland Stadium after we beat Alabama. That's what it's going to look like. Smoke
Hey,
everywhere.
That'd be like Georgia beating Alabama.
Well, y'all, this is my feeling on these HS3. I hear everybody talk about these Elecrafts, but I need me a waterfall. I'm new school.
You do
gotta
have a waterfall. You do have a waterfall. On the
It does have a
K4, you have a
waterfall.
waterfall.
Yeah, the K4 does have a waterfall. That's very true.
And you can also
And
they
if-
have
If all you need is
a-
a waterfall, you can get a G90 and get a waterfall. I mean,
Oh yeah.
so Elecraft has a application you can run on iOS, Android, and PC.
Yeah,
They'll give you your
SDR, yeah.
waterfall too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
SDR, yeah.
Awesome.
That thing is pretty. I'll give it that.
Yeah,
I didn't
that
know
is-
this existed.
Yeah.
Look at the K4 HD and look at the
That's why
receive
all the
sensitivity on that.
K3s. That's why all the K3s have suddenly hit the QRZ market, as everybody's wanting to get a hold of a K4 now that you can do remote.
Dual.
You can get a K3 for $1,200.
Oh, K3s are just going wild on the used market right
Now,
now.
here's
It's
my
insane.
question. You think there's going to be a war between Aurora and Aircraft?
No, they're in two different.
No,
they're
There
two
will never
different-
be.
What is interesting to me, and this is where I was looking at the Tech stuff a minute ago. I'm wondering if you're about to see a war between Tech and Flex, because that Tech rig looks like it is capable of everything that a traditional Flex is. Now, I'm not talking about the Aurora. The Aurora is clearly clearly
or
superior.
its own machine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's very it looks very comparable to anything else that Flex offers.
I think Cam's right. Them six gonna make a comeback, and if they go the route that you guys are saying, oh, it's gonna be big.
You mean Tech and Elecraft?
No, Tech and Flex.
Flag.
I don't see that. I see
don't either.
anybody who uses a Flex uses a Flex.
Yep.
Anybody that uses a Tech has come from ICOM and Yaesu and Elecraft and
Well, what I
throw
mean
Kenwood
is
in there. That's ES2000.
I think that this Tech deal may be, well, Tech's trying to take some of Flex's market share is what I think. Folks that would traditionally leave Kenwood, ICOM, Yaesu, whatever, to go to a Flex, well, ICOM may, or not ICOM, sorry, Tech. I'm not sure what these Techs Phoenix are priced.
Yeah, see, that's still the other thing too. Waiting to hear what the price is on it.
Yeah, if it's a better bargain than than any of the Flexes, they may buy it into Flex Radio's market share a little bit.
I agree with Nolan though, because the Flex operators, people don't realize how many guys are out there using Flex, and you're not going to pry them away from their Flexes. I mean,
I don't know if
it won't happen.
I'm with you on that. I'm talking about folks that may be looking to leave the traditional radios.
You're talking like Icon Yaesu.
Yes, leaving those that would traditionally go to Flex, but Tech's giving them an option to have something at a better price, potentially. Right. That's what I'm wondering.
I think everybody, every vendor, every manufacturer has done a really good job of putting out a solid SDR rig.
Well, I mean, look at the ZBit X that came out up there at Dayton, or that they had up there at Dayton.
Oh, they did have that up at Dayton?
Yes, they did, and they sold out of them before lunch on Friday.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we'll say one thing, because people are talking about the Flex, the Aurora that's going to be almost $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people realize that that's going to be an SO2R radio in one unit.
Yes.
It's going to be an SO2R station, contesting station in one unit.
Now, I got a question. Is that going to be, you said it's only going to be 50%, or is that going to be full duty cycle?
Full duty.
Okay.
Ham Radio Guys in the house. Hey, Ham Radio Guy. Thanks for coming in. Can you remote into like you do the Flex? Yes, that's what I'm reading. It is fully remotable.
Is he talking about the Aurora or the Tech?
He's talking about the Tech.
Yeah. Well, and I saw a video. One of the guys stopped by and talked to him at Hamvention. And you can remote into that radio, but if you own two of those, so and the way he put that, I don't think it's going to be up at the price of the Flexes. I think it's going to be more competition for the Kenwoods, the ICOMs, just the way he put it, but we'll have to wait and see. If you have two of those, you could actually have your station set up at home. You can take the other one, say, down to Florida with you. You don't have to hook it to an antenna. You hook it to a network. And operate your radio from the face of that radio, just like you're running a radio from in Florida, but your station's actually in Tennessee where you're at, Missouri where I'm at.
So it's instant remote.
But you have to buy two of those to do it that way. Otherwise, you just use the software that they've got to be able to remote it.
And then run it through the internet, and then you got the awesome remote control.
Yeah. You can do that with the Elecraft.
Oh,
they have the K40, I think it is.
And
it's a internet head unit for the transceiver.
What ICOM radio said? I can't remember. It's the
7760.
7760, yeah.
The ICOM software, though, is clunky. I don't like the way it looks just from a Google.
Well, no, you can actually take the 7760 head and take it out and connect it to a network.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Run your base with that head.
So you've got the physical controls rather than software controls. I see that.
Yeah, and I agree. I have their control software for my 9700. Once I got it figured out, it's easy to work, but yeah, it's kind of a pain.
Yeah, I typically rely on Ham Radio Deluxe for anything remote. It's just me.
See, yeah, and with me with Ham Radio Deluxe, I've got it. I'm waiting for him to finally come out with the new one. But with the way Ham Radio Deluxe is right now, because all the other logging software and stuff I use, except for satellites for HRD, Win for Yesu to me works better than Ham Radio Deluxe. Now, hopefully, once they get this done and they bring it into the 21st century, hopefully Ham Radio Deluxe will be better.
Well, and Ham Radio Deluxe, if you're listening to me, I've been on you for a while. Get the Mac version out already. Goodness gracious, that's been rumored for years.
Oh, he's supposed to be working on the Linux version, the Mac version.
Oh, we gotta have a Mac Android version. That's like
It's because the new version's supposed to be system agnostic.
Well, honestly, what I'm hoping for is that there's a certain member of this live stream that will come out with something like Digital Master 780 and full control. That would be awesome.
Andy.
Well, I tell you what, Josh, we're in the middle of the virtual port situation right now, and it will probably be coming out soon, and then we'll see what all control aspects we can integrate over time, but yeah, absolutely, it's really exciting what we've got in the pipeline. So
yeah,
and I can kind of vouch for that because I've been working with Brad, one of the engineers over there, because they weren't sure what Win for Yesu was, and I told them what I needed. So I'm just waiting for the beta version of it so I can test on the Win for Yesu. It's coming, guys.
Yeah, it's coming. Don't worry. I've been talking to my developer, and we're probably gonna be trying Com0Com or something like that. Start getting the virtual port system set up, and we do have a team member with a Flex. So that'll help us too, and we'll get there. We'll get there hopefully quite soon.
I'm looking forward to it. Ham Radio Guy says I have, it seems, the PA adapter for a 10. I think he's trying to say 10 tech, but I don't think you will the receive on the 10 tech that you get with flags. Okay, so just talking about different quality of receive. That I can understand that. Entry level with Flex starts at 2,500. That's not the Aurora. I can promise you, it's not the Aurora.
No, the bottom level 510 starts at
61. I think 61.99, I believe.
It's crazy, and what is why
RMDR?
I will probably never own an Aurora.
Receiver RMDR 110 dB, 124 dB. What is RMDR?
Random memory.
No, is that the sensitivity?
Could be.
Who knows what RMDR is? Anybody in the comments?
Is a measure of how well a receiver can reject interference and receive weak signals.
So yes, sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
Ham Radio Guy says Mac version is coming out with version 7.0. That's good. It's good to know. Go ahead, Andy.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to drop here, but if anybody wants a nice little orange True SDX in exchange for the Elecraft, for any Elecraft radio that you've decided you hate,
yeah, I did that comment.
Hit me up and I will make you a deal. So all right, and then the other thing I want to say was thank you, quick thank you to Josh for having me on the stream. I really appreciated it, and for letting me drop this plug here right quick, guys. If you want a portable antenna for POTA, SOTA, or just outdoor portable operating, or even something to string up at your home shack or whatever, just check out n0apx.com. We've got the new InFed Biscuit 40 there listed along with the InFed Biscuit 20. The InFed Biscuit 40 looks like this, and thank you. And the InFed Biscuit 20 like this. They're just little portable roll-up antennas. They're self-contained units. They've got the transformer, everything built in. It's not just a wire winder. It's a whole antenna in one little compact unit. So go check that out. Pick you one up at n0apx.com if you want an antenna, and even if you don't, just go grab one at n0apx.com. I'd really appreciate it. And maybe on the next live stream here with Josh, you'll get fireworks if you do. we'll give you one parting round of fireworks, but I'm going to say 7-3, guys. Thanks again, Josh, for having me on. We'll see you.
You are welcome anytime you want. Guys, go check out N0APX. I think y'all are going to enjoy what you find on his website there. Some really great antennas. We've got some friends that are operating with with that antenna, 250 pounds of Yaesu, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So go check out Andy N0APX. We might make this a regular thing. We'll see. This little round table. I've enjoyed this.
Dave's holding his.
There's an infant biscuit 40 right there, guys.
Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
Andy, do me a favor. Drop that link in my email for me, please.
Yeah, I will do. Absolutely. I'll send you that link here right after I drop off here. Thank you all, guys. Josh, if you want me to come back on for one of these sometime, hit me up. I'm free a lot of Thursday evenings. So yeah, just absolutely. I enjoy it. We can come on and do this again.
Before you run, let me run this by all 4 or all 5 of us here. See what you think. We got distracted talking about the flex. So
right.
We got distracted when Nolan asked us about his dipole. Sorry, Nolan.
What if we turn this stream into a 2-element thing?
Okay.
First part, we have the swap shop thing.
Okay.
The second part, we just do a roundtable just like we're doing. And the reason I say this is because we have a net here in East Tennessee that's very popular. It gets over 100 check-ins every night, or every Thursday night. Ironically, I conflict with it just like I do everything else. What do y'all think about that format?
We can even run it simultaneously.
I like it.
That's a great. Yeah, I really like that. We can even run it simultaneously. We can all jump on here and bring on people who are wanting to buy and sell and have questions and whatever.
If you do that, though, you need to have up a 6th screen or a 6th player or some sort of dashboard that shows who's selling what for how much and who's looking for what.
Yep.
Yeah,
I actually have an Excel sheet that I'm writing.
You got to show that the whole round table.
For documentation,
It would be very helpful to have that information up. You can even do like a form in Google Sheets to make it look nice, or even something like a form would probably be the easiest way to do it. I mean, you can like build a form within Google Sheets and make it look all pretty and whatever.
Andy, if you want to start working through that, that's not a bad idea, and I'll be happy to take your input on it, and we'll run with it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, I'm going to run. Josh, I'll be looking for any information you have for me on the next stream, and if I'm free, we'll see if we can jump back in here.
Thursday nights, 8 o'clock. We're going to do it right like we have been.
Sounds good to me.
Everybody. Dave, we'll see you in a couple weeks. 7-3, Jason, Nolan. See you guys.
See ya. All right, we'll hang out for just another minute or two. See if anybody else has anything to buy, sell, or trade. That is what you all tune in for anyway. It just turned into whatever the hell this has turned into. But if you got anything to buy, sell, or trade, there's the link. I just put it down in the chat. Also, if you would like to, or if you just want to throw an old tip in the tip jar, we do have super chats available. They are down below. Little flashing light. Jason knows very well how to use those green buttons. And we do a little thing called play the clip. If you do any super chat whatsoever, we will play the clip. Also, channel memberships. If you join the channel, Jason's the highest ranking member of the channel. We will also play the clip for joining the channel. So there's a little join button down where you would find the subscribe button. Channel memberships are as cheap as $2.99 a month. So go check that out. Let's see here. Adventures. Hey, Adventures. I saw you in here and I haven't got to acknowledge you yet. Glad to see he's in here tonight. Got the little open spot stand holder, which is fantastic. That is awesome. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I did a video on this a few weeks back. Me and a friend of mine, Andrew, N2AL, he's actually our club president. We have came together to design this little guy. This is a stand for your open spot, and it holds the open spot 3 and 4 and the Pro, and I think it'll hold the M1KE. I don't have an M1KE to try it in, but you just sit it down in there. Your charger for my open spot's in the truck, so I can't show it with the open spot in it, but the charge port is in the top of it, so even while it's just sitting on your desk, you can still charge it. No problem.
Nice.
These are available. Go back in my playlist. You'll see a video all about this. So check it out. Glad you picked one up, Adventures. I think I'm glad to hear you're enjoying it. How do I go back to show everybody? Oh, there.
Oh boy. Hey Josh, I like the idea, like you said, the two-parter. First part, do the trade, get that out of the way, and then after that, whatever, round table, talk whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I like the idea.
This has been a lot of fun. A
So
lot of fun.
I have to agree. I didn't actually. Go ahead, Nolan.
Sherwood Engineering.
Yeah.
They have their sherwoodengineering.com/table is a receiver test data.
Yep.
Now,
I know where you're going with this already.
This
I
is
own
updated
2 of the top 5 radios.
February 2025. The top contender on here is looking like the Yaesu. Yaesu.
Yep, I
ICOM
own 2 of
Elecraft
those.
K3S.
That's one thing. I've got my issues with Yaesu, but the one thing I will give Yaesu is they do have the best receivers.
Yeah.
Bar none. I can pull.
Flex isn't even on here until you get down to the bottom. And they have the 6400 and the 6700. And so I looked at the 6700. It has 8 receivers, 8 pan adapters, and 124 dB of RMDR, whatever the magic sauce that is. The Aurora has 4 receivers and 115 dB. And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but the bigger that number is, the further away from 0, the better the performance is, from what I understand.
I think you're right.
I would think so. Yeah.
So why is Flex coming out with a radio in 2025 that isn't better than what they came out with? When did the 6700 come out? In 2013?
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, and 2, let's give them a fair shot at it. I mean, I've not seen one I've seen one in action, but I've not heard it. They don't have any hooked up to any antennas at Hamvention. But what I'm curious of is, once this thing's been on the market in a while and Sherwood gets a chance to rate it, if it's going to be any different.
That's what I want to see. I want to see, because I guarantee you Rob hasn't gotten a hold of this one yet.
I don't think anybody can. I don't know if they're out
even
yet.
if Rob gets a hold of it, I mean, I'm just comparing specs on Flex's website. I'm not even looking at Sherwood Engineering. I'm just looking at their own specs that they publish on their own website. And the 6700 has 124 dB of RMDR, and the Aurora has 115.
Right, but I'm waiting to see, because you got to remember, everything's digital in this now, and so even though that's still 115, that could be completely different with this new radio.
Different format. Yeah.
Could be. It's going to be interesting. Once these things, I don't think anybody has them yet.
Personally, I can't afford it.
Yeah,
Any
no
of us?
Would I love to have it? Yeah.
I just like
To
the
me,
fact that I could have my 500 watts, everything in one deal, not have to worry about an amplifier or a power supply, because by the time you get the power supply, you're going to have run an amplifier plus the radio, and I can do all this and plug it in the wall. That's what I like about it.
And don't forget, you don't have to drive the amp either.
Nope.
Like
See,
you do on most
I
radios.
mean, that comes down to the operator, because, like, for me personally, I love the thought of my KX3 and my KXPA 100 and my KPA 1500, because I can go soda with 15 watts and a 2.5 pound radio, and I can take that same exact radio and drop it in on my KXPA 100 in a park and run 100 watts in a park, and I can take that KXPA 100 and that KX3, bring it back in my shack, and now I got 1500 watts. The flexibility of having all 3 of those different components and being able to take them apart and split them apart means that I can use that one radio, that one interface, be familiar with that radio, know how that radio operates, and use it wherever I end up working radio.
Oh, I agree. I agree
That
with
comes
that.
down to the operator.
Well,
Yeah.
yes and no. It also comes down to space that you got.
Yeah.
Well, and that's
People might not
what
have
I
the
was talking
space.
about. That's what I was going to say is this is a game changer when it comes to space. I mean, you are literally consolidating a ton of shack space with one
with
box.
one radio.
'Cause honestly,
Yeah.
I could do what you're doing with the new FTX1 Optima. I can take that out as the field radio. Yes, it weighs a little more than the Elecraft, but it's a lot cheaper than the Elecraft too.
John Crook's going to kill me for what
Oh,
I'm about to say.
Hey, we're not on Yesu's channel.
We're
not on YouTube's channel.
You don't have to worry. Yeah.
We should be able to talk freely here.
We can. They don't until they give me an affiliate deal. I don't know him anything, but you know what?
I mean, you can absolutely
I know
absolutely
what
do
you're
that
saying,
for
Roland.
any radio. You can take a G90 and run that into a 100-watt amp from eBay and run that into
right. But I'm just comparing similar to what you're talking about with the Elecraft. I can do that with the Optima.
Well, what I was going to say, the Yaesu Optima or the Field for that matter, way too overpriced for what it is. If you ask me, way too overpriced.
Not really. It's only $200 more than the 705. And there's a lot more you can do this than the 705. So no, that's just like, I mean, people have lost their mind over this FTX1.
Oh God, they have.
Yes,
the
they
last
have.
few weeks. I mean, people threatening lawsuits and all stuff over. Yes, I agree. HRO probably could have communicated a little better, but I don't think they were selling people's pre-orders at Hamfest. I actually think that was Yesu's allotment, but they don't sell, so they had HRO do it for them.
They had them do the dirty work.
I think somebody on Reddit put up an explanation as to what happened, but it came down to logistics and how shipping out of California worked.
Yeah, because they come into the port from Yesu. Everybody thinks Milwaukee is their main warehouse.
No.
Anything that's coming from overseas is shipped out of Anaheim.
Yep.
Anaheim disperses it to all the stores.
Yes,
so yes, Anaheim got them first. Then Anaheim had to send each of the stores their allotment. Well, their allotments didn't get to them before they got to Hamvention.
Yeah. Well, you know what I look at the FX1? It's this way I look at it. People today back, well, the 857D. They wanted another 857D. They wanted a similar to a 991A combined. That FX1 is pretty much combined two radios right there in one. If you look at it.
Well, the way I look at it, it's a hobby. Everybody losing their minds.
Oh, that part, yeah.
If you don't like the radio, don't buy it.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Right. I'm there with you. I don't. For me, the price point is just
ridiculous.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. I mean, yes, it may be lightweight and a little bit more portable because it has the battery and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just like, I just don't see spending my money in this thing. For one, because of the QRP portion. I believe in power. I'm a power guy. I'm not really a soda guy. So, I'm going to stick with a more a bigger radio that's going to give me more power.
Well, here's another thing you got to add, Josh, too. Look at all the accessory that comes with the extra money. And some of those accessories are on the way to get. Yeah. Like the long wire antenna tuner, the cooling fan, the sub little stand, whatever they got. And I'm like, yeah, you're gonna pay $2,000 for the Optima and everything, great. But you add any accessories and you add it up enough, well, guess what? You
don't get the fans and everything with the Optima.
Well,
you only get the battery that you can use portable.
The only thing that you get with the Optima,
you don't even get the handle for carrying the Optima.
I did notice
with the
that.
radio.
Yeah,
you got to buy that separately.
Yeah, that blew my mind.
The only thing you get with the Optima that you don't get with the Field is the 100-watt amp and the tuner.
That's
That's
basically
it.
Yes,
that's where I was
P1A.
going. Yeah, there you're gonna have. By the time you buy all these, the handle, like Ham said, buy this part, buy this part. By the time it's all said and done, you're gonna be spending almost $4,000 or $5,000 on a radio.
I
Just
think
for
I
the
think I'll
system.
save an extra $1,000 and buy that Flex.
Uh-huh.
But,
Hey, I look at it like
I
I look
can't
at it like
think.
this. I'm happy
It's
with my Yaesu 891. It works perfect. I don't. It comes with everything.
well, I'm kind of in the boat. Yeah, I didn't like the price of it. It's a little cheaper for me to get that than to get an Elecraft or something like that. But I'm one of those ones that everybody all can't be QRP. QRP is 1500 -1. Sure, I like my power, but I also like QRP because QRP proves me I built the right antenna and I've got my antenna working properly to make contacts.
And that radio can do it too.
Have you ever done your miles per watt?
No, I haven't.
That's a fun one. So I was working a club station, and they had big old amplifier TS2000. I remember that. It was great radio. And the important part was it was up on a hill. We had I think it was a 60-foot tower, and it was a 3-element Yagi. And I spun that thing around. We had a really good day. I spun that thing around. I pointed it right towards Italy, and I turned that TS2000 down to 0.1 watt. And I tell this story to a lot of people, especially people who are interested in ham radio and they don't know anything about ham radio. They've never heard of it before. And I said, listen, like, think about this. Imagine a light bulb, like a standard light bulb in your house, 60-watt light bulb. Used to be 60 watts. Now it's about 14 watts.
Yeah.
But think of a nightlight, a 1-watt nightlight, and think of how bright that light is. Think how much power that's using. I used 1/10 of that, and I was able to talk from my shack, my club station, all the way halfway around the world to Italy on 0.1 watt. And that got somewhere around like 44,000 miles per watt.
I got to do it.
You get a super
Here
chat.
it comes.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man. All right, let's
Play the clip. There it is. Adventures in Blind Videography, $4.99. Appreciate the super adventures.
To add to what you were saying, Nolan, my longest contact on my Yaesu 891 is Australia. Did I do that at the 400 watts? No, 1 watt on the end of that.
Yep.
Nothing fancy, simple, old school 1, 2, 3, and I did it on 1. I'm just agreeing. It's not the power. It's your antenna and the conditions. Because if the conditions are right and you got good antenna, you don't need 100 watts to get out there. Heck, look at the guys using the G90s, the 20 watt QRP radios, the 5 watt radios, or did what you just did. And they're still making long distance DX contacts.
Well, check out what Chris said. Check out what Chris said a minute ago here. Homebrew max on 10 meters, 3 watts from the East Coast to Japan. So it's doable.
Yep. Point. No one said. Don't need a whole lot of power.
A Moxon antenna is one of the easiest antennas to build.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for me, I don't know. I can respect, and I've been told this by friends of mine, club members, things like that. I can respect the challenge, and I think that's what it is. I think it's a challenge for a lot of hams to get the most distance they can with the least amount of power they can. And I can respect that challenge. I don't know. That's kind of also with the whole tinkering mentality that some people have. A lot of people like to open up these radios and solder stuff and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm not that guy. I'm one that wants to pull it out of the box, hook it up, and go. That's just me.
Right.
And you know what, Josh? I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
If you go watch I finally took some time to actually do a video. My last video was all about that, all about the sad hams, telling people they have to be building stuff, they have to know theory. No, they don't. Teach these new hams the reasons behind that stuff. If they just want to be an appliance operator, be an appliance operator.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, because I'm so busy at work, I've had my license for over 30 years. But right now, I'm so busy at work, I consider myself an appliance operator. I didn't even build this antenna from Andy. I had him build it for me. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with that one bit.
Get on at the end of the day, get on the air. Your technician license is not a license. It is a ticket to learn.
Yep.
And your general license is not your license to get on HF. It's your ticket to learn. And your extra, you think that's the end? You think you've done it all?
Oh, no.
It's not. It's your ticket to learn.
Learning.
You know what? As a VE, we would tell our candidates, you have earned the license to learn.
Yep.
You're just getting started.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I get guys coming up to me wanting to about their tests and all, but I need to learn all this theory and stuff. I said, actually, no, you don't. Especially with technician in general anymore. Even the extra test now, you need to learn a little bit of theory, but by the time you get ready to take that, you already have learned some of what you won't realize it's theory, but you already have learned it.
Yeah.
I tell them, just get past your test. Once you pass your test, then you're going to start learning.
That's what I tell my kids.
You're not going to learn before the test.
That's the same thing I tell my kids, because I'm going to be, they ask the same question, like you just said. I need to learn the theory. I need to learn the wait, no, stop. Because if you try to study for the test and try to learn the material at the same time, and it happened to me when I took my technician, because I did it, because I was a fool. If you try to combine it both together, you will fail that test every time, because the only thing you have in mind is, okay, this diode does this because it dropped voltage, or it, and that's all you got to think about. And then when it comes to the test, it's like, oh wait a minute, questions track equals what? You're not good. Yeah, that's why we used to tell our cans all the time. Get your ticket. Do what you got to do. Go wherever level you want to go to. If you want to say a text, say a text. You want to say a general, you say a general. You don't want to answer extra, fine. You want to answer, and then learn it later, because you can't learn it. I don't know how people say, "Oh, I learned at the same time I took the test," and then when you ask them a simple question, they're like, "Well."
This has inspired me to dig out the old Peter Griffin "What Grinds My Gears" segment, and so we're going to tackle that real quick. There's a couple of things that N3WER has said that have me going here. First one, don't look at the bottom of QRZ page all about sad hams. Well, let's talk about sad hams. I am so sick and tired of people discouraging people from getting their ham radio license, saying, oh, we need to bring back the code requirement. Look, code is great, and I have an interest in learning code, but a technician doesn't need to learn code. Get on the air and talk. That is what people are afraid of, is picking up the mic and talking. If you want to put a code requirement for extra, maybe I can get behind that. Maybe. But it doesn't need to be required.
They got mic fears, we call it.
Yeah, I'm tired of the sad hams that keep beating this crap about the code. That's been gone since 94?
No, that was only for a techno code back then.
Techno code, yeah.
It was in 2000s they dropped the code.
2000, yeah.
Well, that makes sense. And
when I got my license in 94, I did techno code just to get in. I wanted HF privileges. Mm-hmm. Techno code back then didn't get HF privilege.
Not even 10?
No.
The only thing you got was VHF.
Yeah, VHF.
Technician plus was 5 words a minute, and you got that little sliver of 10 meters. Well, I was just going to go right straight past that, and I started learning. I was up at almost to 13 words a minute. I ran into I got point blank told. That's one of the things that I brought up in the video. I got point blank told, oh, you didn't do code? You're not a real ham.
Yep. I get so tired of hearing that crap.
Because the guy that told me that knew nothing on how to work on radios or anything like that. I'd been working on radios for a long time before that. And he started going off about that. That's what made me step away from the hobby a little bit. I kept my ticket, kept playing in radio, but I didn't get involved like I am now. Well, I had some new hams come to our meeting that I'm vice president of this club. And the one guy, he had came two meetings before, and we had our Skywarn meeting. So we didn't do testing at that meeting because we had a big Skywarn deal. Well, the next week he went to another club's testing and got his technician, and he was telling the VE that signed his paperwork, I think I want to get a DMR radio. The VE looked at him and told him, you don't want to do that. Do not get a DMR radio.
Okay.
That's the kind of stuff that makes these new guys. That's why, I mean, I've been buried at work. I had to take time and make that video.
Right.
I didn't call anybody out by name, but I'll just about guarantee you the person knows who I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's the kind of things I'm tired of. Chasing new hams off by those kind of comments.
Yeah.
And,
Well, and go ahead, Jason.
I just wanted to, saw one of the comments there. I wanted to promote the guy that said he did his ham test, and they said he couldn't do it. And I like to say, kudos, I'm proud of you, way to go, prove them wrong. We keep on charging.
Yeah. Let me hit the other thing that grinds my gears, and this is more of a personal thing. But in my comment section on a lot of videos that I post, people say, I'll get on the radio and transmit without a license even if I want to. We've got a thing in this country called free speech.
Oh, geez. That again? Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, Lord. I've gotten to where I just quit responding to those. First off, let's be clear. I bet you got a driver's license in your pocket, don't you? Well, guess what? That's because driving is a privilege. Operating amateur radio is a privilege. You also have to have a license.
Well, I don't have a driver's license.
Okay. Well, then you don't get to drive.
I don't have a driver's license. Never mind. It's a ham. It's a truck. Damn, guys.
My two big things with somebody who gets their technician, if I'm teaching them or I'm working them through to get them to pass their test, is they can learn whatever they want. There's two things that they have to learn. They have to learn to be legal, and they have to learn to be safe. You learn those two things. I don't care if you memorize the other questions on the exam. You need to learn those two things. You learn those two things, being legal, what to say on the air, what not to say on the air, and where to say it, so which frequencies you're allowed to be on, and be safe. Don't electrocute yourself. Don't electrocute anybody else. You learn those two things, you deserve your technician license.
Right. And know your band license class frequency where you need to be.
Yep.
Yep.
And you want to talk safety and what learning the rules and regs and all that stuff teaches you. What's going to happen if I open this box up right here while it's turned on and start tinkering in there?
You ain't gonna have any hair left, that's for sure.
I ain't going to have a pulse.
Yeah.
It depends on where you touch.
Depends on where you touch, but most likely I'm dead.
You touched the wrong one.
Well, that's where Nolan's talking about safety, because sometimes testing stuff, you have to put power to it, but you need to know where you're going to put a test probe in there to test it.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people understand, like, getting shocked with 120 volts. But what we work with is hams, and even as technicians, they're allowed to work 1,500 watts on 10 meters. You're talking severe RF burns.
You talk more than RF burn.
And
you talk death.
That's totally different.
Yeah.
Yep, that is totally different from 120 volts AC hitting you.
Oh yeah, putting 1,500 watts through an antenna and have somebody walk up close to the antenna if it's ground mounted. Because I've seen it in the old CB days. Guys think they're smart and stick their hands
grab the antenna. Yeah, I saw it too.
And arc comes off the antenna. Talking about the RF burns
at the antenna, isn't it like 15,000 kilovolts?
Something like that coming off of it. Yep.
Y'all, he couldn't stop thinking about us. He had to come back out of bed and join us again.
Hey guys, I tell you what, I leave for what is it, about 20 or 30 minutes? I come back, he's still going strong. So I figure I'd jump back on for a couple more minutes anyway. I am going to have to drop here in maybe 10 or 15, but I thought I'd give it a few more.
Well, add on that, like Ham said, grabbing antennas. I have seen truck drivers back in the day where they ran illegal boxes and they would get up hard. Like one I knew off the record ran a Texas Star high driver, 600 on the low side, 1,200 on the high side. He didn't think this would happen. He keyed up the mic. He grabbed his antenna. Now he's got an RF antenna burn on his hand straight down just for grabbing the antenna. I have seen radios where your truck could be off and it'll light to your marker light system up and make it blank when you key up.
Herb says without license, the bands will descend into chaos. Oh, they've already descended into chaos.
I was going to say, we would have got that.
Chaos.
Have you ever sat on 7.2?
I was fixing to say, should I turn 7.2 on right now?
7.2 or 14.313 does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or 14, yeah, 3.3, yeah, they do.
It is amazing to me that they get away with that.
If I'm feeling frisky, I'll go on 14.313 and key up and ask if the frequency's in use.
Yeah, good luck on that one. Let me know how it works out.
Every once in a while, and Dave will. Every once in a while, and Dave will know what I'm talking about here. 145.49 around here kind of turns into the Wild West.
I thought 14.300 was bad.
It's our
yeah, but Nolan, I've actually gone out. Me and a buddy of mine, we were activating. We went on 313, started a POTA activation on purpose.
Really, she did? Oh. How well did that go down, man?
Oh, it was fun. It was fun.
Bet you made a lot of contacts that day.
Oh, I was going to say, I wonder how many comments you got that day.
Oh, yeah, it's I
but
did.
Safety's the key. Yeah, I agree with that. You got to teach these new guys and even us, keep us up to par with safety, because just like Josh pointed out, you click your finger somewhere, or like Sam said, depending on what you touch, it might be your last.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, and talking about,
most of the new guys. Go ahead.
Just talking about what Herb was saying with licensing, the ban has the potential to descend into chaos. It's funny you all mention, or it's funny this comes up because I posted a video on March the 12th. And the title of the video, and we talked about this earlier. I'm not CNN or Fox. I just go off of what I do, what I see out there, and make a video on it. But the title of the video was, "Could this be the end of ham radio licenses?"
Oh, I know that one, yeah.
Yeah, and that video, the thumbnail was red, and it had a picture of President Trump and Brendan Carr on it. That video, to this day, over 2 months later, has 166,500 views.
Wow.
And still, to this day, gets about 330 views a day. And the whole point of making that video was, we were going through all this Doge stuff at the time. Parts of the government were just disappearing.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, during that time period, when I made that video, it was the wild, wild west. We didn't know what they were going to do with the FCC.
No.
And
it's crazy what throwing a little bit of politics in a video will do for your views.
Oh, yeah.
National Weather Service is a perfect example.
Yes.
They put them so bad that, because I'm part of Skywarn, Andy's part of Skywarn out here in Missouri. They don't have full crews. I truly believe that's why it was bad as it was on the announcements on the Kentucky tornado.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the interesting thing is about I don't know if you guys know, I'm the assistant coordinator here in Knoxville. And we, for Skywarn, that is, And we had the bands are such a mess, and the way Skywarn is operated is such a mess in certain areas. Now, Kentucky's not part of our area. That's the Jackson, Kentucky office. I'm part of the Morristown office
Isn't
in
Kentucky
Tennessee.
part of Ohio too? If I remember correct?
Possibly. But anyway, there was people in southeast Kentucky tuning into our Skywarn net in Tennessee.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was Paducah's office that was having to issue all the stuff for Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, because wasn't Jackson down with the radar or the AWIPS upgrades?
Yep.
Yeah, it's but back to the point. We still don't know where everything's going at. Now, Elon Musk says he's out of the government now, so maybe this will slow down a little bit. But at the end of the day, I was speculating, and yes, it was for views, but it wasn't lies at the time. We didn't know. We didn't know what was going to happen. And just yesterday, you talk about politics playing a big point in videos. Just yesterday, I posted the video about the Chinese radio bans.
Mm-hmm.
That video in a little over 24 hours now has 4,352 views. So you're not kidding. A little bit of politics will send the views through the freaking ceiling.
James, the CEO over at World Radio League and Ham Radio Prep, he just put out a video on the Ham Radio Prep channel about the, I guess in the budget bill that's going through Congress right now, they've got something in there that they're instructing the FCC to auction off a section of spectrum in the microwave area. So they're instructing them to auction it off by like 2031. So, it hasn't passed through Congress yet. We put out the video, try to get people to contact your congressman just because it's not like definitely going to affect amateur radio bands. They've got a whole section of spectrum that they're supposed to find, I think I can't remember how many megahertz to auction off. It could potentially overlap with amateur radio spectrum, or it could be spectrum that's not connected to amateur radio. It's not for sure yet, but that is part of the bill they're going to auction off some spectrum, and it could affect the microwave gigahertz bands.
I've got friends that are in my smart, not your smart.
Okay.
That do 10 gig microwave stuff. So that'll be a hurting. Speaking of hurting, Herb says NWS is understaffed and NOAA Weather Radio is down in 60 cities. So let's address that. Yes. So in my office, the MRX office, Morristown, they are down 5 meteorologists, and that's not because of firings or layoffs. That is because some people have decided to retire, thanks to some of the options that the United States government offered them. They have not elected to post those positions, and it's unfortunate, but one of those positions is the MIC, meteorologist in charge. I don't know what's going to happen with those. Now, let's address the NOAA Weather Radio issue. I can't answer for everywhere in the country, but if your weather office is undergoing this AWIPS upgrade, that's why NOAA Weather Radio is down. It takes their entire system offline.
What upgrade are they doing?
It's a program called AWIPS. It's I forget what it stands for, but it's basically their radar and their graphics software.
It is going to innovate radar, Andy.
Wonderful. Oh, the radar needs help. That's wonderful.
Well, it's not been updated since dual polarity came out. What? 15 years ago now.
That's awesome. Oh, that's good news. I'm excited. That's great. I want to see how this is gonna pan out.
Yep.
I'm gonna add to what I said previous, Josh. I said a couple months, everything's gonna go jump. Those few videos that you said that took bites that hard, I'm going to cut it down to a month and a half if it keeps up like that way.
Yeah. Well,
I might bite the hat.
I publish a lot of shorts, and y'all, I don't know if you guys know, I'm actually an anchor for This Week in Amateur Radio, and part of my deal to do that is I actually am able to publish the newscast, which is about an hour and a half, on my YouTube channel.
Nice.
But nobody's sitting and watching.
One of their actors.
Yeah, nobody's sitting and watching an hour and a half video of just somebody talking. So what I do is I throw it into a program called Visitor IQ, I think is what it's called, and it chops all that up into small little bite-sized bits.
Nice.
But
Nice.
that's where a lot of my views come from, is those shorts.
I think we use Opus, but it's probably something very similar.
Very
Opus
similar.
Clip.
Yeah,
Josh,
I thought about Opus.
How many people you got sitting here watching 3 hour and 12-minute long video?
Yeah, no, I was just about to say, we've been talking about 3 hours here.
Well, it's different. There's talking heads on the screen, whereas This Week in Amateur Radio is just audio.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little different. But we have 19
And when it's
watching
live,
us.
anything can go wrong, and usually does. So people want to tune in for that.
And if I'm live, and if it's me that's live, something will go wrong.
Yeah. Oh man.
Herbert says the
trying
NOAA weather radio station that serves Galveston, Texas, has been down since March because of a fire. Interesting. No word on
there
when
was
it'll
a
be
fire there.
replaced.
I remember, what's his name? Mike.
K8MRD.
Yeah, he said, because he goes to the park there, and yeah, when last time he did a video, it was still recovering.
Mike is super cool. I enjoyed getting to know him when we were in Dayton.
Yeah, if there's any complaints about this stream, send all your complaints to K8MRD at iCloud.com.
Yeah.
Now, let me be clear about something. I sound like Obama. Let me be clear.
Gee, here we go.
Let me be clear about this. I am, for lack of better judgment, I am actually camping on Monte Sano with everybody at Huntsville, and I'm actually staying right across from Jason. So MRD will be right across from me too, because he normally camps with Jason.
Have fun with that.
Don't piss K8MRD off, please.
Hey, you want to get him bad?
We're going to hear about it on Mailbag Monday.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You want to play a joke on him and get him really bad?
Some publicity there, John.
Oh, here we go.
All about it. What you got, Jason?
Okay. Him and Jason were on their way to Hamvention in Jason's truck. And Mike got some spoiled gummies. Ask him about what he did with those.
Oh, we were talking about that.
Yeah, don't leave him in a hot truck floorboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Because my buddy was up at Hamvention. His name's Chuck. You'll recognize him. If you ever see him, he's got he's empty, but he's got a wooden leg. And he went up to Mike and said, "Hey, how about those melted gummies? Were they good?" And Mike just gave that look like, "Huh?" He's like, "Yeah, my buddy Jason said something about it. How are you gonna do?" He's like, "Uh-huh."
Yeah, I think I was sitting there when that conversation came up, if I'm not mistaken. I remember this.
I told you, I said, "Chuck, you want Buster's butt? Here, say this."
Oh, well, I can't wait. I can't wait for Huntsville and the stories that I'm going to come off that mountain with.
Right.
I'm going to try to make this
I tell you what, Josh. I tell you what, Josh. At this rate, this long of a stream, we're almost rivaling Ham Radio Workbench podcast, and they're them guys over there. But I am going to have to run now. I had a few extra minutes here and wanted to jump back on, but I'm going to have to go. So I'll say good night to everybody, and looking forward to
you going to let him do his pitch again?
Yeah.
Well, of course, but before he goes,
I want fireworks.
Before he goes, I totally lost my damn train of thought.
Oh, good gosh.
Oh well.
You would have him do something.
I don't know. It must have not been important.
Guys, if we make this a regular thing, if we make this a regular thing and come up with a title for it, I'll put together a promo code and offer 10% off the antennas.
Hey.
I think we need
something like that.
I feel.
I know what I was going to say. I know what I was going to say.
Go ahead, Josh.
If somebody trades you, I'm saying this tongue in cheek, so don't take this seriously, people.
Yeah,
But
okay.
if somebody gets you an Ellicraft in your hands, hell, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if you didn't give them premium World Radio League and everything on Ham Radio Prep as well.
Well, I would have to do that out of my own pocket because I'm not gonna just use my position to do that. But out of my own pocket, I may be tempted to.
I'm
But,
telling you,
anyway.
the way you're motivated with it wouldn't surprise me.
But anyway, guys, all right. You guys have a good night. And
73,
yeah,
Andy.
since Josh offered to let me do my pitch again. No, I'm kidding. But just go check out N0APX.
One more time.
But anyway,
Andy,
see
one
you
more
guys.
time.
Have a great
73,
night,
Andy.
and we'll see you next week. And I think Jason wanted the fireworks again, so here you go. Night, everybody.
See you, buddy.
Thank you, Miss Andy. 73.
7-3.
But no,
All right.
Josh, I think we should. I think we need to roll with this.
Yeah,
Because this could be something big.
It's been good. Here's the challenge that I'm sitting with, and we're debating this out in front of the public, all 18 people watching. You know what, though? 4 of them are us, so it's actually technically, what is that, 14?
14, yeah.
Math is bad at 23-14. But the only challenge with what we're doing here is, as some people have said, it does conflict with ham radio and coffee, or whatever, or coffee and ham radio, whatever they are. But I don't know of a better time to do it. I just don't. I'm not going to compete with Jason or Josh. That's not happening.
No, that wouldn't work. No.
And I'm not going to compete with Clubhouse. Hey, this is what we've got the benefit of over Clubhouse, though. We've actually talked about ham radio all night.
Yeah, we have.
We didn't get off in the rabbit trail like they do on random crap.
No, we've been trying to stay on topic. Yeah,
cigars and bourbon and whiskey and all. There ain't nothing wrong with that, but we actually stay on topic. But I mean, I'm not going to compete with them. I'm not going to compete with Jason or Josh. I don't know what to write. This is the only time I know to do it. I'm not.
We
got
to do our own format, Josh. That's what you're trying to say. We need our own format. We don't need to compete with everybody else.
Well, I mean by time slot too.
It's getting to the point that there are so many YouTubers out there. Right.
Oh, I think he's froze.
Sorry again, Hillbilly, you froze. There you are. Now do it.
We see you.
You're good now. We see you.
Actually, I think Josh.
No.
All right. Sorry, what you were going to say, Hillbilly? Now.
What I was going to say was that it's getting to the point that it's almost impossible to not compete with somebody.
Yeah.
You've got the right mentality on it, Josh. You don't want to compete on Saturday night with Josh. You don't want to compete with Ham Radio 2.0.
Crash Course is a very similar format to what we're doing here. Or not Crash Course, sorry. Clubhouse is a very similar format to what we're doing here.
Yep.
And that's fine, but we can't go head to head with them.
No. And like you said, we stayed on topic. We've talked about ham radios. We've talked about antennas. We've talked about this. We didn't talk about, like you said, like most of these we've seen. Oh, we're going to get a cigar and $500 brandy.
And I want to be clear, I'm not knocking those guys. Their conversations are fun.
Oh yeah, when they get going, oh god, yeah, it's hilarious. Especially when what was it? I can't remember if it was Josh and somebody else. And boy, they got into it. I was watching. I just like, okay,
yeah.
I see how this is gonna go. But no, I see what you're saying.
I mean, Wednesdays are no good. A lot of people are going to church on Wednesday night, so I'm not going to compete with that.
And Wednesday nights, every other week you've got Ham Nation.
Yeah, that's true.
And now you've got the Ham Radio Kids table at 7:00 on Wednesday nights.
Tuesday nights you got W5KUB too.
Yep.
Matter of fact, he asked me to schedule a time to come on. Me and him got in a little bit of a spat, but we cleared it up pretty quick. But he wants me on there at some point, so I need to pull that off. And then Saturday, nobody's watching YouTube on Saturday night.
And if they are, they're on Josh's stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
then you've got the after chat and everybody's in the voice chat on
Discord.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
well, and then you got Fridays too. I mean, who's watching YouTube on Friday? Not many. I
Me?
mean,
I'm a YouTube freak.
all I know is if I look at my metrics and my views, not even live. I'm talking about my post stuff, or the stuff that's posted. No, but Friday's one of my lowest viewed days altogether. So
When's your highest? Which one's your highest?
Sunday, surprisingly,
When the bands are dead.
when the
Well,
bands are
I do that one. No.
when the bands are dead for sure. But
Your metrics should have been high today then, because the bands were horrible.
Oh God, they were. I mean, yeah. It took
well, I
me
mean,
forever.
yeah, that the whole Chinese radio video has been going nuts all day. Hey, Greg, good to see you, buddy. I didn't realize you were in here.
Hey, Greg.
He used to be
I'm
one
gonna
of
have
my
to drop
VDs.
as well. And
Yeah,
Josh, you wanna do this? You wanna have me on? I'll join in. I actually had a good time. I didn't expect to be on a stream tonight, and actually had a good time.
What, are all of you in the Discord?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which one?
My Discord.
Yeah, I'm in your Discord.
Yeah.
The only Discord that freaking matters. Get it right, Nolan.
I still don't know what Discord that is. I
Ham,
just got invited to 6 of them tonight.
do you
Yeah.
even know what damn show you're on?
Probably not. We've been talking for 3.5 hours almost. Yeah.
I came to buy a 9700.
Yeah.
I'm not selling mine.
But no, what I was trying to say, Josh, what day, normal case, I'm not talking about when the bands are bad. I'm talking about normal YouTube. When you get on, when is your most viewers? When is your most your head count?
Live streaming or anything?
Doing what we're doing right now.
So far, it's been Thursdays. Now, Hurricane Watch Net's a total different story.
Right.
That's a breaking news situation, and that can go on at any time, and people turn it on and leave it on.
Right. And what I was getting at, okay, you were trying to figure out in your head. I can see your head. You're looking at numbers on the computer. You're doing this. You're thinking this. You're trying to figure out when is your best time to do it. So if Thursday's your highest head count, if it was me, that's why I would do the stream.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen, and I hate to.
Because that way you won't compete with everybody else, like Josh, Jason, the whole other family, as we call it. But you won't be competing with them, and then you won't have no backlash on you.
Yeah, and when Carlos called me out on it, I apologized to Carlos, but there's just the space is getting crowded.
Oh, it's the whole. It's from Sunday to Sunday. If you look at it's not but YouTube videos, like Ham said, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And
So I found you on HR 2.0 Discord.
Nope. There's actually I actually have a server. Let me do the. I'm assuming you know Discord pretty well.
I work in IT.
Okay, yeah, you know Discord. So I'm putting every single person under the sound of my voice is welcome to join the Discord. Matter of fact, if you want to win the HF radio, you have to be a member of the Discord. But I just put that Discord link in there. Go ahead and join, Nolan, and I have an assignment for you if you don't mind.
Now I
just got voluntold for something.
I'm putting him to work already. Look at this.
Yeah, no kidding. Josh, what was your Discord name?
It's HamShackTV.
Thank you.
Yep, the links in the thing there. What I want.
I don't have. Wait a minute. Where did it go?
Because I'm not the greatest at Discord. I kind of suck at it, to be honest with you.
Discord ain't that hard.
No.
If you can walk a straight line, go to the bathroom, you're fine.
So I'm going to give you some permissions, I think. If I can figure out how to do it.
I don't want permissions.
What kind of permission are we talking about here?
I'm going to give him mod. Can you...
Can I ban all the people? Yeah, let me work on that.
Please don't. They will lose. They will not be in the contest.
Is it Ham? No, that's not it. Damn.
I don't want permissions. I'm getting voluntold for something.
Oh, good God.
What I need that I don't know how to do is I want you to build a private chat for the 5 of us somewhere. Somewhere within the Discord, and we can plan this show out, that kind of thing.
That's easy, Josh. Basically, instead of okay, these are all Discords right here. Instead of doing that, do it in the friend one. Make it fun.
I'm looking at the desktop app, so the computer.
Okay, it's the same thing. All right. You know how you got all your Discords on there, for different things, for, yours, Ham Radio, Crash Course. Don't put them in one of those. Do it like in your friends list.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
The reason I say that is, okay, say you got to tell us something important, or we got to tell you something important, and you don't want it where everybody can see it. You can do it that way. I mean, you can do it either way. And I'll worry about looking for that up there. That's good. Make my head twist.
I'm just start setting it up, and I think what Josh is looking for, and I think you can make private channels in your server where you can only allow certain people into that channel.
Yeah, you
already have one channel in here that's a private channel. You can just add another one, or just use that one.
I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, the admin chat.
Yeah.
You just give authorizations. So you give no one permission. You give me permission. You give Ham permission. You give Andy permission. And they'll be the only ones to be able to access and see what we talk about.
So I got to figure out how to add you. Nolan, you've got super admin, so you've got God power for some reason. I don't know how I did that.
And you're gonna love mine because my Discord name is long as hell because it's simple as I'm gonna be. Because I have to have all of that in there. It's like, good God, yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find this funky stuff.
What did I
know
do?
I clicked on that link because when you were doing that one video, we were all on there. We weren't doing this. We were chatting. What the heck did I do with it?
Let's see. Andy. Okay, he's got his permissions. What's Dave, what's your Discord?
My Discord name?
Yeah.
Sure. Give me a second.
Right. Hit Rabbit Ham here real quick. Well, I don't want to hit you. That'd hurt. Eventually, there's going to be a point where shows overlap, and then the consumer will have to choose. The host will just have to. I'm not going to say that because I'll get blocked. And show each other respect. That there's only so much time in the week, and that's true. I mean, I could do a stream during the day, but guess what? Nobody's going to watch it. I have to be in prime time. It's as simple as that. Everybody's at work, unless they're retired sad hams.
Yep. my user on Discord is KE6GA, the Hillbilly Ham.
Gotcha. I'll add you mod as well, VIP. And I don't know what Jason says. Let me see if I can find him easily.
Are you doing this or am I?
Oh, I'm just adding mod privileges. Well, I mean, you can. You can. Hell.
I told you I didn't want to.
Well, you just asked me if I was doing it or you were doing it.
So back to ham radio.
Oh, yep, we're in the clubhouse now. We went on.
Well, is it because I'm outdoors? Is that why?
Maybe. Hey, Jason? What's your Discord name?
Hang on a second. It's like I said, it's long as anything. It's gonna be Jason 3805E. My call sign Lord Viper 1.
You were not a member of my Discord.
I thought I was.
Yeah, I didn't see him in there.
Nope. which means you ain't winning the HF radio.
You know what? You better. I already told you. You better give my. I'm gonna give you my address. All right. Do we have to go that route again? And I don't want pink tutus in a box. You know. Okay. If you send that. No, I want the radio. Okay.
I put the link there in the chat, Jason. You can add it. You can jump in there when you want. Anyway.
Hang on a second.
So I did want to get back to this. We had mentioned earlier about safety. I've had this up in front of me here for a couple of quick minutes.
Okay.
WB2 WIK posted on QRZ forums what I'm going to call the official answer of how to figure out the voltage at the end of a dipole. So the voltage at the ends or tips of the same dipole are much, much higher. If the element tip impedance is 20,000 ohms, then the voltage would be 1414 VRMS or 2,000 volts peak for a 100-watt signal. So you have 2,000 volts at the end of a dipole on a 100-watt signal.
Mm-hmm.
You put 1,500 watts in there, there's a lot of volts at the end of that wire.
Now say that again. What you put? What 1,500,000 volts? What now?
So I'll go back to the beginning.
Okay.
Somebody had asked, what is the formula to determine voltage at the end of a dipole?
Right.
His response was, you can't calculate this, as you need to know the real impedance to earth at each end of the antenna. And it's something that isn't accurately estimated. It depends on how the dipole elements ends are formed and how far from other conductors each end is and other variables. You can calculate the voltage at the feed point of a dipole, since that's simply the square root of P times R, where R is your feed point impedance, 50 ohms. Like he goes on saying, should be in the range of 50 to 75 ohms for most dipoles. So the feed point voltage would be 70 volts RMS or 100 volts peak for a 100-watt signal. The voltage at the ends or tips of that same dipole is much, much higher. If the element tip impedance is 20,000 ohms, then the voltage would be 1,414 volts RMS or 2,000 volts peak on a 100-watt signal.
So my question is, how can you not tell what on the ends what it is? I mean, is it going back? Is it going backwards?
What do you mean?
Okay, you said in one part you said that at the end of the dipole, you can't calculate what's going, how much power is going out.
Yeah, so the impedance, the impedance at the end of your dipole varies on environmental and installation factors. So unless you're like truly antenna modeling, where you have all of the factors modeled into that, you're not going to get a formula that you can plug and play in. You'd have to do the antenna model to come up with, and even then, it's still not going to be perfect.
That way too. You had to, yeah. Okay, now it makes sense. I thought what you said at first is like, well, there's no way of measuring it at all, and I'm like, well, what do you mean there's no way? They had a formula to come up with it, But now the way you explained it, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So that's what I tell people is, you put anything into that, there's 2,000 volts on the end of that wire.
Well, hey,
that's
Josh,
how people get RF burns.
I'm on Discord now.
Gotcha. And knowing I got it set up, I figured it out. It's pretty easy.
Well, I'll just let you know I got it. I thought I hit it. I must have. Nah, I guess. But it's there now.
It's under the admin drop down, and then there's a folder or there's a hashtag show prep.
Let me get on there real quick. Get back.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to drop. I gotta get up. I'm on vacation this week, but I gotta get tomorrow and do some honeydew stuff.
All right, Hillbilly Ham 73.
Yeah, I kind of need to head horizontal position, polarized anyway. So
look at this. Andy's in bed and still in the chat.
Yeah, I know it.
He's addicted. I mean, he's addicted.
Hey, where was this at again, Josh?
It's in Discord in the HamShackTV server.
I'm
down,
on that. Yeah.
There should be a drop down that says admin, and then there's a hashtag show prep.
let me find admin here.
It's down below text channels, down below voice channel, and then admin.
I see text channels, general, CQ, handfest, Toyota, field day, tech support, contesting.
Further down.
There's been okay. There's been in the chat.
And I don't think you answered Dale's question.
There's a Dale question.
Any IWS looking for standard C228 handhelds? Anyone seen any? I don't even know what standard C228 handheld is.
By the way, guys, this is a swap shop. Sorry, y'all.
And you said it's under mid chant, Josh.
Yeah, it's under admin and then show prep.
Oh, show prep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. Let's see if we can find what he's looking for. And I'm right behind you.
That radio looks like it's from the 1990s.
I just sent a message in it, Josh. It's show prep.
I heard it.
Okay, so I'm at the right here. Okay. Copy.
Yep. I am not seeing this radio. Oh, there it is. Holy crap. I gotta share this, y'all. This is crazy. And then I'm going to horizontal. Look at this thing. Looks like you got that straight at Radio Shack.
Go to the rig reference. Rigreference.com, standard C228. It's got a better picture of it. Manufactured between 1980 something and 1980 something.
Yeah, click on it, both of you. That was actually wow.
At least 220. Okay, that's interesting. It's 2 meters and 220. No 440.
We're still looking at your search page.
Oh, sorry. StreamYard's junk for that reason right there. I have to update it.
Back then, 220 was very popular.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, why is he looking for that radio? What's special about that, boy? Best handheld I
might be possibly because they're trying to make a 220 comeback for him here.
I'm hearing that. But here's the thing: we got to have some people make equipment, and right now, the only people I know Kenwood. That's it. Kenwood D75. That's the one I picked up.
Well, the only other people is Anytone, and that's their tri-band radio, and that's about $400 or $500 radio or more.
Yeah, Dale says
actually they've got a mobile that's not that expensive that's got 220 on it. The problem with Anytones 220 is they keep it very low wattage.
Yeah, it's like what 20 watts or something.
Oh no, Anytone keeps it down around 5 watts.
Oh, they keep that.
I love
wow. People have to understand 220 is probably the best propagating VHF band.
Oh yeah, it is.
Dale says this was the first 2 meter 220 out there. It's the best handheld he owns. He's 65 and he's had them since they were new.
Well, here's my question: why did 220 die? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because people stopped making equipment for them.
Oh,
affordable equipment.
Part of the problem was there weren't enough people using it. Because, like in California, there was a group that was going to do what was called the Condor Project.
Yeah.
And they were actually going to link repeaters, try to get it linked all the way to the East Coast. And they were going to use 220. But, of course, politics in clubs and sad hams got in the way. And they didn't get past New Mexico. But there wasn't enough use. And people are talking about the microwave bands getting auctioned off. 220 was the first band that part of the frequency got sold out from under us. It was sold to UPS, or actually FedEx, I think.
FedEx, yeah.
And they were going to do this stuff for their stuff, never used it. And I believe they sold it to UPS. UPS is just sitting on it and not using these frequencies for anything.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
That's why 220 is so small now.
East Coast Reflectors is doing similar to what you're saying. But they use, I think, like 2 meters or something like that. And they got it all off the East Coast, but they're trying to get the whole United States for some reason.
But like I said, the Condor group back then, and those were a bunch of guys that that weren't into politics. They had the right mentality on ham radio, and it didn't get done then. I would love to see it happen, but
band allocation to amateur radio is mostly in the U.S. and Canada. The only other country is Somalia.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, nowhere else uses 220.
But basically, we got to push it then. Push it back.
That'd be a worldwide endeavor, and you see how that's worked for the past 70 years.
Exactly. And Josh brought up the perfect problem. There's not enough manufacturers making 220.
220 is also not harmonically related to the band pair, 2 meter and 70 centimeters.
Nope.
It's a separate band.
Yeah.
That's why they wanted it, because you didn't get the interference on 220.
No.
This answer is coming off of Stack Exchange, by the way, if anybody's looking for that source.
But yeah, it don't have no
IT.
But no, it don't have any interference. It's like
all right, guys, I'm gonna have to drop.
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up here. It's we've been going almost 4 hours.
Too.
Guys, thank you. So, if you guys want to stick for just a second, I'll wrap this up. Guys, appreciate y'all watching so much. It's been a great time tonight. This definitely turned into something I didn't expect it to. But we've had a lot of fun just hanging out with the guys tonight. We're going to do this again in the very, very near future. So y'all check out all the links down in the description. Support HamShackTV in every way you can. We'll be back next Thursday night, 8 o'clock, right here on HamShackTV. And we'll do some more with your favorite YouTubers, your favorite folks here on this channel. Maybe we'll get a few YouTubers in to join us. Who knows? 73s, guys. I'll see you in the next one. AA4WX, WSCB 693.
WC.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man. All right.
That's your freebie for the night. Good night, guys. We'll see you later.